Hello, fellow travelers. Welcome to Blades in the Dark. We have a smaller group tonight as folks are enjoying Friendsgiving and other sorts of things, and our hearts are with them, and we are glad they are having a good time, and we miss you, friends, and we will see you next time. But for tonight, I have with me here the folks who are persevering so we can blade in the dark or something. I don't know. How are y'all doing? Chase, what's up?
Not a lot. Pretty low-key week. Had a nice little local Thanksgiving. Made some turkey. Didn't hate it, which is more than I can say for most times I've eaten turkey. I've got a lot of hot takes regarding turkey.
It's overrated. It's a super overrated meat. Yeah.
The skill floor is too high is my one criticism, and I'm real dumb. So, like, that's my puzzle.
We had a turkey, but we mostly had a fish fry, so yeah.
Yeah. No, we jammed some freaking sides, though. I'll say that much. But yeah, hi everybody. I'm Chase. I have hot takes on turkey. You can find me at @Fromonger on the internet. I'm going to be playing the big boy today.
The big boy. Tell us real quick about the big boy.
Yeah, Bart, known on the job as Beryl, is an large family man who, like every character in this game, is turned to a life of crime because the rapidly industrializing city around him has left him behind. And he is dealing with the fact that his crew has killed people now, which was one thing that he was like trying to avoid but understood was kind of an inevitability. So it was just kind of putting that off. It's mostly internalized now. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, he's got some stuff happening. He does. Couple things. Few. Nat, how about you? How's the far northwest tonight?
Oh, it's quiet. I'm having a good mood. This music I'm listening to is like very much in theme right now. It's very
I should
headspace.
Find something that I can at least share with the stream. Yeah. So how's Ovmalia?
Ovmalia Strangford is having a day.
She's about to have more of a day. She doesn't know it yet. You don't know it yet.
Oh no! Did you read the thing in the roleplay channel?
I couldn't keep up. I tried.
It's still the most recent thing.
Okay, in that case,
it's very isolated.
Okay, in that case, yeah. There's.
All right. As I like to describe my character using cipher system terms, Ovmalia Strangford is my damp whisper who communes with the void sea.
One of the things that I wish this game had, like, baked in were those kinds of character sentences like Cypher does. So, that's so good. That's so good. And Rand, who is not quite as far northwest, but almost, but looks like they are further northwest.
Much further, much further north.
Looks like it, even though it's actually the reverse. So...
Northern Territories.
Yeah.
That's me. Here, I can just do this, and you'll see that there's a hat underneath the hood.
I did not even realize that.
Oh my!
Layers are in this year.
You know,
layers are always in.
I was like, what year are they not when it's cold?
Yep.
So who are you playing tonight?
I think tonight Moreland Char Hells is going to be making a return after I pretty much just spammed chat when you guys were playing last week about everything that Char was thinking / me.
Apparently, my automated moderator didn't like some of it.
Yeah, I know.
Attempts to give us good flashback fodder got you banned.
Yep. I mean, look, when you type small incremental sentences really fastly
in all caps, that was the problem.
Yep. When you're used to typing on AIM from 100 years ago, and that's how you used to talk. It a lot of modern bots not into it. They're like, okay, please stop spamming one.
Okay, boomer,
words.
muted for a minute.
Yep, exactly. Thank you for using that term to refer to me. Ugh.
I was the boomer last week. You can be the oh yeah, you weren't here when I was showing a GIF on my phone by pressing it up.
He's like, hey, y'all want to see this? Y'all want, yeah.
I mean, I heard about it because you kept talking about it even when you went live. So I wasn't there to witness it, but I did hear about
I want to point out,
We're all boomers at some point.
I found out by accident last night that my phone will interpret OK Boomer as OK Google. Which was perfect in so many... I was joking with my kids as we left dinner, and suddenly it's like, DTT. I'm like, oh, what? Okay, all right. Well, thanks for folks hanging out with us tonight. It will, I think, still be... Even though we have a smaller group, I think it will still be just as engaging, if in some ways perhaps even a little bit more personal. As we can kind of zoom in on characters. Each character gets a bit more time in the spotlight. That's all that I mean. That's it. Last week, Nat or Chase, and honestly this is to help me remember, what was last week's score?
The Great
We stole
Drowning.
a boat.
It was the Great Drowning. I don't know what this talk about the boat is, but it was the Great Drowning.
Okay, the drowning was the bigger long-term impact. That's right.
Yeah, we killed cops.
Talking about that, the whole drowning business feels so not inconsequential to me.
Not inconsequential? As to mean consequential?
No, it feels so inconsequential.
While chat... Well, stream can't see this. Those of you who can see Roll20 will see that there is a new faction clock that is marked in red.
It also doesn't have a title that we can see. So it's probably nothing.
So it's probably not a death leviathan from the seas coming to wake up and swallow part of the city that one of us happens to inhabit.
Well, that is a thing. No, that's a separate one. That's over here on the right. That's one of the smaller clocks.
That's a different clock.
Well, now I'm even more scared of what this.
I'm sure it'll be all fine.
Of course,
like all of Kyle's danger clocks, there were always 6 segments.
You know, see, I was talking to Zach about this week. That is literally because I'm still figuring my way out of this game, and it seems like a good middle ground. And that's literally for me it's the exact same mentality as where the book says while you're still getting familiar with it, you can just make every roll risky standard and it'll be fine. If that's what I'm doing here, this is the equivalent of that. Like, I don't know how big Danger Clock should be. They're all 6 segments.
You can't be too wrong then.
That's literally all that I'm doing. So we've got that. We do have some... That's a good reminder. We did this last week, and I liked this. We have a couple of danger clocks on the board related to specific characters. I should label them that way. So, Chase, Beryl has a couple. Do you want to tell us about what those are?
Yeah. So the first one is... Beryl is entranced by some demons, not necessarily in the mesmerized, hypnotized, stock still kind of thing, more just enticed, as it were.
That's probably, something like that. I have some notes about what it's going to mean, but yeah.
And there's a wide spectrum that it can mean. He's still perhaps a little bit dismissive of it. Like, at first it's sort of no, this was a traumatic experience. I saw some demons eat some people. This was my first time seeing demons even. Anyone's going to react weird. And then the thoughts never really left his head. He kept thinking about it and shoving it away as oh no, this is just like post-traumatic stress stuff. But it kind of wasn't, and he's coming to terms with that. He's not processing it how he feels like he should be processing it, because they're frickin' demons.
And I want to point out that not only is it 1 segment away from completion, when we have ticked it, it has had to do with him dealing or trying to control or whatever the right phrasing is with his ability to manage his anger.
Yes.
Beryl
is... Bart is a loving family man. He is capable of great, great violence, and it's one of those things. Anyone who's seen him fight notices he kind of enjoys it more than just the adrenaline rush kind of way. He has yet to kill anybody. That's not to say there haven't been devils on the shoulder and surrounding him because they're made of water, telling him to do so, but he hasn't yet.
Devils made of. Speaking of devils made of water, Omalia has a danger clock up there as well.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, just Leviathan awakens.
And
I'm sure that'll be no deal at all. They kill these things every season.
and in Blades in the Dark, Leviathan are literally eldritch, gigantic, titanic eldritch horrors that live beneath the sea. That then effectively whaling crews go out, harvest their blood, and use that to power everything in the city.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's whatever, It's barely a thing.
I mean, like, for people who live, like, that'll be a problem.
You live!
Maybe.
Do I?
Char doesn't have any.
We need to fix this.
Oh, I don't doubt that that's going to happen pretty quickly. Wife has one. Wife has a whole separate set of problems not represented by danger clocks right now.
Yeah, very true. Getting the crap kicked out of them in prison on like the daily. So
yeah, that's a thing. All right. So last week you stole a boat from the cops, killing several of them in the process. I mean, okay, we say cops. Even more than in whatever reality you have, in this case, all bluecoats are bastards. Like, they are completely on the take. They are a gang with a uniform in Doskvol.
Chicago in the 30s ain't got nothing on the blue coat.
Well, the thing is, I assume that even in those times, there were at least some cops that were in it for the right reasons.
You mean the ones
One or
that got
two, yeah.
shot?
Killed,
murdered?
A handful. I don't know if there even is one in the Bluecoats. So that said, why did we steal a boat again?
You wanted a boat?
Yeah, several reasons. We needed to get out of the city, out of the lightning barrier to the outside. And we had this option and other options. But also, we have a friend who is a former pirate queen who we want to commit piracy with. And honestly, having really official-looking boats helps with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now this is like a canal boat.
Right.
But
I thought we were using this boat so that we could get to her boat.
It was
her boat back for her.
It was to get more around to the
Oh.
Lost District, and it was kind of your way out of the lightning barrier because that's more.
Instead of just walking through.
But y'all can use it for whatever.
Yeah.
We talked about using it for piracy and stuff.
Right.
before we
I just
nabbed
mean,
it.
It's an option for coastal piracy.
y'all can just walk through the lightning barrier, right?
No.
Really? You didn't know that? Like, how do you think the Deathland scavengers and like all the prisoners go out there to scavenge?
I think what we had done originally for the Deathland scavengers was, and I'm vaguely remembering this because this was like, I think it might have been the very first session, and so we're not beholden to this. Let's be clear. What we had said at the time, and maybe this is just what people believe, was that the smugglers and the Deathland scavengers and the prison wardens have some sort of technology that temporarily suppresses the that doesn't mean it has to actually be that way. People can just think that, and the wall is in their own mind.
Right.
Man.
I mean, I always imagine that if you're gonna lug a bunch of basically slaves out into the middle of nowhere to like dig around and crush rocks, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna stand here and have this one device that's gonna let all of us through. I always thought it was just like, it just hurts. You walk through it, but you're not a ghost, right? So it doesn't stop you from entering or exiting.
But it is a lightning barrier at the same time.
Sure.
I mean, also keep in mind that these aren't just people who were, this is getting sentenced to outcast into the Deathlands is like Doskvol's version of capital punishment.
Right.
You're done.
It is the gulag.
But the trains go out of it too. So there's the whole the lightning rail or whatever that goes around the island, and then has the rail jacks who protect it from the ghosts out there. So
yeah, okay. I mean,
I'm okay with. I don't think we. In other words, I don't think we have to establish right now one way or the other. We only have established what the characters believe.
And let me just point it out that I am all for it being impossible to walk past it, because that means when Char walks up to it and lights a cigar on it by like touching it and then touching the cigar and having it like zap it so he can start smoking, it'll be that much more cool and badass. So I'm into it. If it causes pain, he's got it.
Or maybe it doesn't kill you, but it almost will.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good. I'm good with that too.
So, as y'all have been role-playing in Discord this week, as we kind of, in some sense, raise the curtain on the session tonight, where are your characters?
Physically or
physically? Yeah. Like if it within the city, where are they? Not like
in the city.
Not. I don't mean their journey of their life.
I think Beryl and Char are at a bar trying to hustle people. I think that's
yes.
I think this was something that Chase had asked me if I would be willing to do, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
And Avmalia, while they are at the bar, where are you?
Oh, just near Strangford Bridge, making my way to that bar.
Near Strangford Bridge. Where is Strangford Bridge?
I made it up.
Okay, fine. Okay, great.
That's it.
Perfect.
Look.
So while you are
Strangford Bridge, perfect.
in the bar, you see a couple of young street urchins run in, go up to somebody who's holding court, as it were, in one of the back booths in the bar, and they start tugging on her coat, and she leans down and she looks at it, and you see as they whisper something in her ear, and her face goes dark, and she looks back at them. She kind of gives them a quizzical face, and you see their eyes get big, and they're like, no, really, really, really. And she slams down and starts yelling about something, those goddamned bastards, etc., etc. What do you do?
I feel like Bart's kind of the guy to keep a low profile unless he doesn't need to, so I'm probably still scouting marks for Moreland, and specifically the strategy is I arm wrestle people, being the 6'4", 340-pound monster, and if I can find someone who doesn't like have a technique, they're just strong, I'm going to lose to them, so that Moreland can come in afterwards, put like $20 on it. Moreland being like, how tall and how wide?
Yeah, he's 5'3" and like it's very stocky.
Yeah. So like Moreland's probably stronger than he looks, but like that's not like freak strong. So like the right amount of torque, just knowing how to angle your wrist, you could beat someone like a little bit stronger than you. And we're just doing that to make money. The moment this shouting is happening, I'm just kind of like shifting, eyeing over.
And it's an area where there's a lot of very shady looking people. It's not like just her. This clearly is like, she doesn't own the bar, but she owns the bar.
Right. And I think Moreland's like ashing onto the floor because I don't think they have ashtrays or anything.
No, we're going to say you are
encourages you to show your nuts on the floor.
You are not necessarily at the docks, but you're kind of, let's see, what's a good district that you are in up towards.
I mean, I feel like there's not that
Gods.
many good districts.
That's
Right.
fair. You're right. Well,
That
you are
we
certainly
would-
not in Charter Hall, and you wouldn't.
There's no good districts that we would be allowed in.
Yeah. We are on the dive bar crawl, stealing money from patrons until we get kicked out.
Yeah.
And
So,
and then they try and fight us, and they make mistakes.
Bad call. Bad call.
Yeah.
bad call. So, what I want to get across is this is a place where there are, maybe you're like in Crow's Foot, let's say, and there are a lot of sailors and so forth in here, and you can hear as some rumbling is going through the crowd, spreading out from there, like the word is being passed that something has happened, and you go, "Oh, did you hear this?" Oh my God! And they turn to the next person, and the person's like, "Well, and turns to the next person, and clearly something has happened. Like the energy in the room has gone from rowdy, boisterous bar to oh shit, everybody.
Right. And so Moreland like turns to Bart and is like, "I think we picked a shitty night to do this. Looks like
Yeah,
something else is happening."
Yeah, I feel like the competitive party vibe is dead.
Yeah. So the woman who's back there, she's kind of tall, spiky hair, muscled. Like, she looks like she could take 2 men in a fight herself. And yeah, at this point, she is just cursing. The air is turning blue around her, metaphorically. And people are kind of getting nervous. And finally, over the hubbub, you can hear her screaming something about those bastards at the ministry.
Eyebrow.
Oh God! If this has to do with the goddamn union busting, I swear to Christ, which is an eldritch god that Moreland has decided to follow, who lives in the Deathlands. It's Christ, known for perhaps for not dying and being able to multiply mushrooms into many meals. Everybody.
Also, like, literally not even metaphorically consumed by their followers. That's what.
Yep, exactly. Hey, you know, when you're in the Deathlands, you
Man.
eat what you can get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a survivor for a reason, and that's human flesh.
He's on the Donner diet. So...
Oh, God.
Nat. So...
Be curious.
Do any of you do anything about this curiosity?
I'm gonna kind of like look at Moreland, just sort of like a little bit of an eyebrow and a tilt, just sort of like, we want to look into this. Not necessarily like do something, but like be awares.
I think Moreland like turns to the door and is like, I feel like somebody who gives a shit about this should probably walk through that door right now and show interest in this, because I don't care unless we're getting paid for it. And then the doors on the saloon swing open.
And who's there? Is it Avmalia or is it not? That's what I'm asking.
It's up to Nat.
That's right. Right. That's right. That's
yeah.
what I'm asking.
Which
Nat.
comedic?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I have a question for you, Avmalia.
Tuesday.
Is your appearance specifically like
Wet.
your? Well, I'm sure that she's damp. But how much of a family resemblance is there?
Like slightly more than average.
I was gonna say, how many like professional pictures has Amalia like sat for?
Too many.
Right.
My God, too many.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, people go into like Strangford Hall and are like, "Oh, that thing's like 80. Holy crap, that's huge!" And then they look at you and they're like,
Wait just a frickin' second.
"Hold the phone."
Right.
Which is also another Eldritch God, but very small and fits in your hand, and you're addicted to it. And you
I
can
thought
never
that
let
was
go.
all, you already have that not synchronized. One of your other abilities.
Bound
Anyway,
in darkness.
Bound
Sound
in
and darkness. Yep.
I mean, That's not a bad way to describe everybody being on fucking Twitter. So anyway,
Real.
They are all bound in darkness.
a couple people look at you, and that woman with the spiky blonde hair kind of looks at you and points at you with a quizzical expression on her face.
So Amalia, very wet right now, like she just walked out of a canal, dripping on the floor. So like, I fell in, and she's going to try to walk past, trying to go towards.
Did they throw you off?
Right.
I'm just trying to do the ignore.
Yeah, I mean,
Ignore.
No, everybody gets super quiet because she's like the boss around here. She's like, "Hey, I'm talking to you.
and I think
Did they throw you off?"
Yeah, I think Char pushes off the bar and is gonna flank, nonchalantly, smoking still, just flank Malia and stand behind them.
What's it to you?
Yeah. Bart's gonna stand up. Also, question: what is Char smoking?
Normal. It's normal
Okay.
cigar. It's the green wrapper, not the purple one.
Yeah.
He doesn't smoke the purple ones unless he's really angry and wants people to leave him alone.
That's fair. So most of the time.
Most of the time it's purple, but the green ones are. If we're gonna try and rob people, I don't want them to think that I'm trying to poison them with my cigar smoke. Other than
Valid.
Other than what cigar smoke already is. So
delicious. Yep.
What's it to you?
she says, "Well, we all heard what the ministry did tonight. Oh, come on. You're one of them. This can't
You
be
one
good.
of them?
This can't be good for you."
You're right. It's not.
Yeah. No, everyone knows. We know now, don't we, everyone? That the ministry
Yeah.
has seized ships belonging to the Strangfords.
Oh.
It's really only a matter of time. There's work to be done.
And are we going to do anything about it? She yells to the crowd, and people are starting to get rowdy and boisterous in a way that they were. Now, if they were rowdy and boisterous before, but it was sort of the convivial, we're having a good time, arm wrestling and drinking and shoving and whatever. And now she's getting people riled up to go do something. She looks at you and she says, "Do you want in or not?" Looking at Avmalia.
Malia, because I think I see where this is going, is going to put her arms against Morlan and Bart. Kind of. So, of course we are.
Bart looks more lost than he has ever looked in his life, but he's just happy to be involved.
And of course, Malia has touched Char in that place in the back where you can't quite reach with your hand, so it's damp, and you're so Char's goes up to a post and is scratch. He's like,
Like a bear.
Like
Yeah,
me
exactly.
every day.
yep. It's
Promise he's
alright.
more useful than he looks.
I wouldn't take her word for it.
So they run charging out.
I'm gonna saunter after.
Yeah, I mean,
And
me too.
this crowd
Char's not
is
gonna-
just flowing out, right? So,
And I'm gonna go to their ears and be like, now is their opportunity. They're going to make a distraction. We have something to steal.
Oh,
What are we
okay.
stealing?
It's the book.
Uh,
Don't say. Look, Beryl sometimes has a lot. He has kids, of Molly. It's hard to keep track of your children and also your friend's
wouldn't be able
obsessive
to relate.
nature. I don't know. I assume it's difficult. I mean, are they old enough to get jobs yet?
Jorbs.
This is a very recently industrialized city.
So
They're-
that
yes.
they can walk.
I need to check my notes with Jesse. I think that they're 6 and 4, so yes, they're old enough to get jobs.
So they're actually, what they're doing, yeah, they're chimney sweeps, and they're gonna fucking die if you let them. Anyway, yep, sure.
Yeah,
Penny farthing chimney sweep with the honor gold.
yeah.
got the
Bart doesn't have an
blood,
accent, but
Pop.
his kids are Cockney.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Exactly.
The thing is,
well ventilated up there, Pop.
Correction: Bart has the Midland accent. No accent doesn't exist.
Right.
the for those who know our good friend Val, she has a recurring character in a number of different games where she plays the same NPC, who is Penny Farthing, the young chimney sweep with the heart of gold, and it's hilarious to me that every time
How
somebody
have
says
I
chimney
never heard
sweep,
of this before?
Me neither. That's brand new information.
she's been
to me.
in, this character
Oh,
has
my.
appeared in both Gothic Brunch and the Monster of the Week game that she ran,
Okay.
where they were all werewolves. Was it Monster of the
Yeah.
Week or Monster Hearts? I forget what it was.
Probably Monster Hearts.
I think it was Monster Hearts.
I think everybody was werewolves. It was good. So, all that to say, is that wait? So y'all are going to go do a heist? Is that the thing?
That's what I was proposing.
I mean, is this enough people to cause a decent enough distraction for us to?
There
it
are
might be a
a
riot.
couple of dozen people, and they are storming in the general direction of the docks.
Okay. And so Char turns to Amalia and is like, "You're the one who can sniff it out. Let's go." And just sort of waits for Amalia to like
Yeah. She
walk
really-
us towards whatever fucking building this. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's not a good idea. Buddy. Don't
Seems
listen.
as good a time as any. Like,
Can maybe perhaps Beryl, you know, a couple good bars. You could try to rouse up a larger distraction.
That's what I was going to
Yes.
ask. If that's what we were
Spread
going to
the
yes,
ask.
I do. He looks very confident in that. You're kind of getting the vibe that he's maybe been part of a riot in the past, just kind of
Only one.
possibly for political motives, possibly just for a rip roaring good time.
I mean,
Listen,
I feel like
the
I
riot
feel
is
like-
the language of the unheard. So
I
yes,
feel yeah,
And
I
we
feel
loud
like-
in here.
Yeah, I feel like Beryl is the brute squad. You know what I'm saying?
you are the
Like,
brute squad.
Yep.
So I just have this mental image of the three of us heading, in the back of this crowd, and we all just kind of turn off in different directions to make our quick preparations.
Yep.
Yeah. Beryl's finally going to do the thing that I was expecting him to do a lot more in preparation for heists. He's going to build up a distraction.
Yeah, with that one command, you really got it.
Also sway a little bit. Like, I can push here or there.
1 point and sway too. Woo! Talker.
So
I mean, that's
you're
better
trying
than
to amplify the effect of this
Yeah.
from a a raucous thing to a riot.
So you're trying to get some of the other bars in the area worked up. And tell me
In
how you're
particular,
doing
the
that.
very violent bars that I have a
so
plot regarding.
So the bars.
Yes. The comparatively violent, I
Are
suppose.
you doing this by convincing them, or are you doing this by yelling at them? What I'm really asking is, are you using command or sway? But let's put a little bit of fictional flavor around it.
Yeah, and for the sake of fictional flavor and also mechanics being the same, it depends on the bar. Also, editor's note: I have an equal amount of points in all of these, so it doesn't actually matter. So
Great.
for some bars, if they're the kinds of ones where like Bart has been like, "Nah, I don't want to fight. Like, I'm just here for the sport of it all." Then he's swaying, he's talking, he's just sort of like, "Hey, so there's like some stuff going down, and I know y'all like to know when stuff's going down." But other ones where he's just sort of like physically removed himself from the cage, just sort of like, "No, toss off, I'm not fighting," sort of stuff, where he's like actually gotten into fights, but not the sporting kind. He's just sort of like, "Hey, there's a riot. Go heck shit up."
Hey, there's a riot.
So
Hey,
which
there's a
role do you want to
riot.
make?
Doesn't actually matter. I'll roll the command.
Okay.
Do
L-
you
Go ahead.
question was Moreland helping with that?
I would know. Moreland's idea is wherever the building that you say that this item is at, Moreland is gonna hunt that building and
You're
figure
gonna
out.
find it.
I'm gonna find it and I'm going to study it. With
Okay.
hunt.
Or,
Comings and goings in the life.
That sounds like that'll... Okay.
Gather information about the location. That's what I'm doing.
Sure. All right.
Can I do my thing? Because I did that big downtime project to be able to locate this thing. Can I give him a heading? It's like
Yeah, I
direction,
think we
400
can...
meters.
You already did, so I'm not going to make you... That is the equivalent of a setup, so we'll treat it as if it were a setup action, because you did a whole downtime project. So I think that you shouldn't need to do additional stuff for that. First of all, though, let's see. This isn't a gather information. This is just an action roll by Bart. Let's see. With command in this situation, I'm gonna call it risky. What's the most... So, how bad could it... No, I'm going to say... Yeah, no, it's risky. Anytime you're trying to start a riot is risky. And limited or standard... Let's just go standard, because I don't want to think about it too hard.
This is an action roll.
It's an action roll, yes.
Can I... So, do I have to push myself to trade position for effect? Is that just
No,
a thing I can do?
You can just trade position for effect automatically if you want. So, but tell me how you're doing it.
I am specifically, like, not just commanding presence, like, specifically, like, physically inciting people, and if they seem resistant to the idea of, yo, there's a riot, we gotta get in on this stuff, if they're like, nah, that's a stupid idea, I'm just sort of like, what are you, that soft around here? Shove them in the chest a little bit.
Okay, this is working for me.
Man, this is like
So this
the
is
opposite of how to get me to ever do anything.
right.
I feel like you seem like not the kind of person to frequent an underground fighting ring, though.
No, it's true. It's true. I'm just like, how would I be commanded into going in, and do a riot? And it's like all these things that you're saying. I'm like, this would not work.
So this is desperate great, then, based on what you said. You can either push yourself or take a devil's bargain.
What's this I hear about a devil's bargain?
I know what it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You could take an extra die, but I'm going to tick that barrel is entranced clock.
Violence.
Ooh. Let's... You know what? We've got a small party. Let's get shit going. Let's
There's
take
only one spot left on that.
But
You're
you know
gonna
what?
do it before the score? Oh my god!
Let's go.
That doesn't mean that just means that it's filled. I can
Right.
bring in the effect whenever it's narratively appropriate.
I'm just saying, once we fail to break in and he gets super mad, I just hope he doesn't punch me in the back of the face. You know what I'm saying?
I do need to take I do have the, what is it, the Rage Essence Vial that gives me the benefit of something to the effect of unstoppable, the flaws of can't stop till they're all down and can't tell friend from foe.
Yeah,
so where?
What was that last part?
Can't stop till they're...
Oh, he lost. He broke up.
Bit after that? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay. I was ironically saying the part before the can't tell friend from foe bit and doing that as a bit, and then I cut
Can't tell
out. So
friend from foe.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna do that drug for a minute.
But do it.
I mean,
So I don't think you have to do it right now.
Oh no, that's part of the load. I'm just saying, like, if we ever get to that point, stay out of eyesight.
Yeah.
So you're getting worked up, and you just feel your blood getting hot in all of this. Are you going to let them do this? Are you a coward? Sort of thing. All right. So, So the devil's that's the devil's bargain is you get the die for that. That's one extra die plus whatever she's doing. Let's roll that.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
That's a 6. So you do it.
And a 1.
Yeah.
People just start rushing out of the bars. You hear them screaming. Stuff starts getting broken. Women are screaming and running away. Children, the urchins are like, yeah, they want to go see. They're trying to figure out ways to make profit off of it. They're not running away scared. They are just trying to figure out ways to can we get a few extra coin this way? Can we steal something from somebody else while this is happening?
Yeah, like I know the kind of people I introduced to this situation.
Fair. So, in the meantime, Char is attempting to do a gather information. Yes?
Yep.
And
Char's like, what? I mean, still smoking, and like, Avmalia tells them where this place is, and yeah, it's just walking around in between different alleys and like tracing around the building and watching what lights are on. Assuming that it's like 8 million stories tall and it has like the Brazil vibe, where it's just like tubes and shit all over the place. Anyway, and yeah, he's just like circling it and trying to figure out what he can about the location.
I'll
so do you
thanks,
want this
like,
is
support on that.
So yeah, let's do this maybe not as a gather information, but as an actual action roll.
Well, I mean, that's what Hunt does, right?
Right. It gathers information in the lowercase g, lowercase I sense. Right.
So
We don't have to do it as a gather information roll specific, because to me, gather information is also almost like, would my character know this? Okay, it can also cover that instance. I think this is more dynamic in the moment if it's just a straight up action roll.
Sure.
So this is, and what you are trying to do, what you're trying to find the building.
Yeah, I mean, if
where the map book is being held.
Right, like if we don't know exactly where the building is, that's what I'm trying to do. If we do know where the building is, because Avmalia knows it, then I'm just trying to get guard patterns, try and figure out what I can notice about the security, any information that I can gather.
I think if we're being succinct about it, what we're probably looking for is our entry point, right?
Right.
So, but you're using hunt, not survey, right?
Right.
Okay.
Because Hunt says that I can do that with it.
So hunt a target, and then survey a location or situation to gather information on
Hunt
opportunities.
a target, gather information about its location and movements. So I just always assumed that a target could also be a building, and that I could gather information about where it is and what happens around it.
Yeah.
I'm just says that a place or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just comparing it to what I see in survey, to survey a location or situation, to understand what's going on, gather information.
With intentional open.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm just kind of comparing them and contrasting them. I'm not saying you have to do this. That's not how this game works. And I'm just looking at it. I want to see something here while I'm thinking about it, though.
And is Avmalia helping with this, or can they, or she?
I was going to offer.
Yes. Does she?
I was going to offer after we knew the position.
Yeah, I was also waiting for that, coincidentally.
Okay.
It's like, if you need to trade position for effect, I'm more likely to want to do that.
Yep.
So, well, so I was assuming that we were treating this as a setup that she had done already.
Right, that's what
that was like how we know where to go. But
okay.
Then she could also travel with him and like help be an extra pair of eyes.
Attune with it, whatever. Yeah, she needs to do.
I have study. I have prowl. I think I have applicable skills narratively.
Right.
Absolutely. And I want to. Teamwork does the thing where
makes the dream work.
Teamwork does make the dream work.
I was thinking of just assisting, take a stretch to give him a
but I'm assuming that you already. I guess I'm not being clear enough. I'm giving you the credit of having already also done a setup maneuver.
Okay, so setup maneuver, I think, increases effect.
Yeah, increases effect or position. So,
okay.
You choose you of Malia chooses whether or not it's the effect level or the improved position. So I'm going to say without that part, right? If Char were just hunting through the city, I'm going to say while there are riots going on.
Yeah,
that's important.
Maybe to some people, but not to Char.
I'm going to say it's risky limited without the benefit of the setup.
I was thinking of improving the effect because I think knowing where it is on
It
a gross scale
makes
is probably
sense.
more likely to increase your payoff than how
Sure.
dangerous it is.
So this
And
is risky standard.
And I'm going to trade effect, or position for effect.
So tell me how you're doing that.
Sure,
Absolutely, but how?
I
Tell us,
think.
what
I
does it
think.
feel like?
Yeah, I think you say like, "Oh, watch out! There's a lot of distractions because there's people," and Char is walking through them and just pushing them over and getting them out of the way and just like elbowing them in the face and just like it does. He's not even focused on anything other than this building, but people are like, "Yeah, let's fuck him up," and he's just like, "Nope, nope, nope." You know what I mean? And so the desperate situation is maybe some of these people are actually angry that this little person is like, not literally a little person, but this very short individual is like walking so confidently around in the streets while there's a riot.
And I am Moreland's shadow.
Understood.
Oh God! If you're my shadow, people are just more scared. This is like that episode of X-Files with Tony Shalhoub, where the shadow absorbs people and they disappear forever. That's you, and
I
I'm
could do
Tony
that if you want me
Shalhoub.
to.
Yeah, no.
Maybe that'll be my next ritual. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't have my book. I lend it to a friend.
Live in some. Do you need a PDF of the book until you get your book back?
I think I have it somewhere.
Okay.
It happened.
So we're up to desperate great.
And
That's where we
I'm
live.
intending to also spend a stress to assist in the actual
Okay. So there's a die there.
observation of the location.
Do you wish to push yourself? Do you wish a devil's bargain?
Well, let's entertain that devil's bargain just for a second. See how many dice I can actually get on this roll.
So I'll give you two possibilities that you could choose from either of these, or we could talk about it. We can add heat, as people are noticing that what you're looking for and so forth. So we could add heat to the crew, or we could start a clock in which I think we could start a clock where, and if anybody has ideas, feel free to throw them out there. But I'm thinking a troublesome clock, a danger clock, if you will, in which maybe somebody takes offense at getting shoved around and starts stalking him back.
Maybe like stalking's different. I was saying like Moreland gets called out, but
Okay. Yeah, but that's more of an immediate thing, yeah.
yeah,
But I'm thinking
I like something planned.
I mean, also it could be because I have an enemy, blah blah blah, on my thing.
Oh, yeah, this is good.
It could be that word gets back to an informant of the Sentinel that I had like wronged in the Deathlands.
Oh yeah. So
They're trying to.
Celine gets word of Char's.
Because I'm just being a jerk and being like,
right.
nope, and they're like, yeah, I know that guy.
He is.
Hey,
He is a jerk. That guy is a jerk.
so we can tick a clock for Celine finding out where you are.
Yeah, and just sort of backstory for the players that don't know, or anybody. Celine was the protector of a very rich noble who went out into the Deathlands on sort of a safari, and then a bounty hunter. And this is one of the reasons that Char is no longer in the military. A bounty hunter offered Char money to kidnap the noble so that they could be returned and ransomed. And Char was like, this is good money. And so the Sentinel knew who Char was already because he was part of the retinue that like led them out into the Deathlands. And so, yeah, that is his enemy.
Cool. So, do you want to take that?
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay.
I'm ready to get in a street fight because Jesse and I are never in the same game together where we can fight my characters against each other, and I keep being like, Jesse, we need to plan this. We need to plan it, but I will fight somebody else, so Char will fight anybody.
Also, like we already have a lot of heat. If we
I
don't want to get a one
another
level, this
water
kind
level.
of needs to be a quiet job.
Oh, you're too late for that. You started a
Okay, but
riot.
I think Think about it, the heat on us versus the heat of the city are two different things. A riot does not necessarily trace back to us.
Maybe.
All right, are we good to go
That
with all
riot
that?
basically started itself, to be honest.
There was something going on already. Yeah. So let's see.
Wow. All right, there we go.
We got a
6.
6.
And then a bunch of 2s and a 4. So I'm glad that I took
So
as many dice as I did.
Big hunt energy.
So
Yep.
you do. So you find the building where it is. Like as you get closer of Malia, like you can feel your watery senses tingling, like your spider sense.
Yeah, I got the joke.
Yeah, I just had to explain it because I'm a dad, and explaining bad jokes is
Big
what we
crowd.
do. And in the meantime, Char is just kind of unerringly like, no, it couldn't be that because the guard patterns there aren't good enough to secure something heavy, and that's not actually Ministry of Preservation, that's something else, and blah, blah, blah. And between the two of you, you narrow down to this building where you're confident the map book is. This is a pretty secure building. Looks like a fortress, right? It's like a castle, basically, right? There are guards everywhere, especially with the riots going on. They seem to be at increased alert levels. There are, you can see some of their animals, they're sort of the equivalent of guard dogs that they've brought back from the Deathlands, patrolling the grounds.
I mean, how big are they?
They're pretty good size. Maybe not quite. I don't know how big Lal is. So
She's 9 feet long.
yeah. No, they're not quite that
Giant.
big. Yeah, but think like what is that? What are those dogs? The Bernese dogs? They're like that. So they're good size. And unlike all the Bernese that I know, they're actually mean and not just big floofs.
Big floofs.
Yeah, all the ones that I know, I have friends who have those dogs. They're even friendlier than my little puppy.
Maybe
So
I can steal one of these and train it to be a big floof.
So what I'm trying to get across is that this is a very secure building, and I will tell you out of character that the way this is being modeled, and your tier is not an in-character, in-universe thing, but it kind of models something that your characters kind of have a sense of the position and power and all of this. And the Ministry has moved up to a tier 6 as they are basically seizing power in much of the city. Other factions have moved down.
We can't actually break into this building.
That's whoa! That's not what I'm trying to get across.
Are you kidding me? Tier 6? No, look.
That doesn't mean that every door is tier 6.
Yeah. Also,
It
just you know
does,
the difference
actually.
between tier 5 and tier 6 is mechanically
Not much.
for us. Bubkiss.
Yeah, sure. But what I'm
No,
saying
literally,
is
it's
tier 5.
limited effect
different
versus
gods.
limited effect. It's the same.
Oh, does it not go down past limited?
No, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
always,
You
if
can
they're
get
big,
to
you're limited.
0.
That's all it is.
You
Yeah,
can get
right.
to 0, but that's like on a case-by-case kind of tactical basis. And
You
even
lose,
then,
you lose effect if you are going up too much. It will go in from up too much to up too much more. That's all it does.
And the other thing that it can do, right? Like sometimes you might hear me say, this will have 0 effect, which doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you have to do other things to increase your effect, right? Pushing yourself,
stuff like that.
trading, position and effect, and that sort of thing.
I mean, look, I understand what you guys are functionally saying, and I agree with you about 100% of it. But let me just tell you about my precious baby Moreland and how I don't want him to be like, hello, let me just, yeah. And then we all die because these guards are much more powerful than us that they punch us and our rib cages explode.
No, it's more that they have more guards. That's more
If
about
they
how
have tier
many.
6 weapons on their fists, but most fists are just normal baby human fists. Most.
Relative to Bart.
Char,
Right.
are you scared?
No. Gran is
Come
scared.
on.
Char is
And,
going to do it.
And I think Afmalia takes a note out of Barrel's thing and kind of pushes him a little bit. Come on.
Are we going to wait for Beryl before we go in there? I mean, because let me tell you, Char is absolutely going to do this. I, as a player, hate this idea.
hopefully.
Screw you, Nat, and screw you, Kyle.
Well, hopefully, the riot in the streets in response to their big ass power play are going
Right.
to reduce the number of guards, i.e., the tier level they can display against us.
Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to. Look, sometimes I have to break character because I am a coward and would never do this if I was in a tier 1 gang. But Moreland, he's cold, he's rough and tumble, and
Yeah, what are his
super
traumas
fast.
here? What are his relevant traumas? Does he have any?
Oh yeah, those things.
Nah, it's just cold, so he'll do it. He doesn't care.
At this point, somewhere in the direction of the docks, you can hear a few explosions.
Like,
All right, we're not gonna get a better. We're not gonna get a better chance than now.
Barrel? How long are you at?
And this
How long does
indicates
Beryl
that
got?
they're using mind worms. I mean, sorry.
Across distance.
Oh yeah, y'all can. Well, you could take a stress and send a message.
Well, in the past we've done it when this is really just Nat being like next thing.
So
In the
I
past
think
we've
at
done
any
it,
point, Beryl should be able to come barreling around the corner. What?
Yeah. This is
He does
just
carry stride length.
pointing at Chase in character, basically.
So-
being like,
so-
and your turn.
Question: if y'all gonna do this heist, that's just fine. I'm all for it.
This is such a
Which plan
terrible-
are you choosing?
It's gotta
Oh
be
my
stealth,
Yeah,
right?
Elf.
Oh my god.
No, I'm
What?
thinking assault.
Let's just do assault.
Assault.
Fuck it.
No,
All
stealth.
right,
It's
guess
a,
I'm
it's
taking a
stealth.
trauma
Christ.
today.
No, it's stealth.
Look.
Oh god.
Look, Moreland will happily take a second trauma if it means y'all both get traumas too, because you guys are the ones that need a little bit of the trauma currency. You know
None
what
of
I'm
the precious babies that I'm trying to protect with my character any more than everybody is his precious baby are here. I'm gonna try
Right.
and bodyguard you guys, but like if I don't get a trauma,
I mean, honestly, almost all of the plans are viable here. You could absolutely try to deception or social your way
I
in.
mean, I don't think.
I don't know about
look,
transport, but
Arguably, like, it already is deception because our method is big ass distraction. There's a riot. Take advantage of the circumstance.
Right.
the method of deception. Yeah, but you got to actually manipulate them or lure them out somehow. So you could do that, but what would be your method of deception? You could absolutely do deception. I want to be clear.
I mean,
I'm supporting your idea. I'm just trying to get what
I
the
feel
method
like
of
the
deception
riot
is.
does that because it's going to sap their resources and make them weak and available to.
But you see, but I mentioned already, you see them like at extra alert level, the guards at the building.
I'm still kind of leaning stealth. Just
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
like we do still have the benefit of the riot where like obviously a lot of the guards are going to be on the outward perimeter, but there are going to be some that are on an external to even the property perimeter.
Let me
Also,
And
ask
there will be a
you.
door.
Let me ask
also,
you.
this isn't even. This is just one building where they happen to have a thing.
Right. Let me
They're
ask
gonna move all
you.
their guards to where they're protecting. They're getting blown up.
Yeah, and they're going to be moving to the docks.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Kyle. With that 6 and hunt, would I be able to notice a place in other buildings that would be an easier access if we did roof or window access points into this ministry building, right? Like sniper perches, but also that we could use sweet spark right grapple hooks and we could Batman in and
Oh
be
my
like,
god!
"Woo!"
You just said my favorite words, spark rights.
That's right. Bat.
I'm not,
Batman
that's
grapple
not-
hooks?
just in general.
Yeah, I mean, when I turn into a hole, it's all spark right. I'm in bag. Look, this arm turns into a cannon, and this one turns into a grapple hook, and my chest opens up, and it's a cannon grapple hook. I'm the greatest thing that's ever been invented. My name is Char. And then I will have air horns installed into my nose, so I can just breathe.
Yes.
So you're looking for a building nearby that has some kind of perch where you could maybe get in.
I mean, obviously like a sniper's perch, but also something that would be access, like a building that's a little too close, where a rope and a grapple would be able to like make it still.
Oh yeah, so there's this big estate house across the street rather. This big, gigantic, old-fashioned estate house that is known to be headquarters for the North Hook Company. But it's right across the street, and it's got all kinds of, decorations and all kinds of junk on the outside where you could, it's because it's got like carved gargoyles and so forth. But you can hang from the outside, and it's directly across the street.
I mean, yeah, I think Char will like point it out and be like, "That's our best entry point. If we can scale this building and go across."
Yeah, I can make that jump.
I mean, there's also like climbing gear and burglary tools.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
But that's our entry point. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my friends, it's time for...
We're
Well,
going
no.
hell for
Sorry.
leather in this episode.
Choose your load.
Load.
I almost forgot. This time I remembered, y'all. Be proud.
I am so proud. So we've got the thieves rigging.
Right.
So, is one set of climbing gear going to be sufficient to help get us all across?
Or are we all gonna need to?
You all
carry
need climbing gear.
All right,
Okay.
so that's our thieves rigging.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We also might need lockpicks and crap.
Yeah, climb. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what, normal
I think
or
See,
heavy?
I'm tempted to say heavy, but like we need to not be slowed down.
Can
I
yeah.
think normal is fine.
Yeah.
I think normal gives us, and again, not to plan out what our load is. The thieves rigging is free. That's going to be either the climbing gear or lockpick stuff. We don't really need more than just like small things aside from that.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Yep.
Armor
Hopefully.
here, weapon there.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Hopefully.
Normal.
Normie.
Okay. Normal. This is good. You're so
Even though this is
normie.
probably the most gear we've wanted to use in a mission.
I know. I was like, yo, I want to do heavy just so Moreland can like waddle in there with heavy armor on and be like, "Don't hurt me."
If
Like
there was
a
a
war
moment
penguin.
for heavy,
A
this was
war
it.
penguin.
Yep. I mean, I agree with Nat. Like, if there was a score that warranted heavy, and us just like looking like we were fighting,
Going
it
to
would be
war.
this. Yeah, it would
The
be
game
this.
really disincentivizes against heavy, I think.
Yep.
And I think that's a design choice of the game.
Of course,
Yeah.
because yeah.
So, time for the engagement roll.
Is it daring, Kyle? Is it
Is
daring?
this
Is it
planned,
daring?
bold,
Is it
or daring?
daring?
Yes.
8 dice, I feel like is what that means.
Is
right?
this operation overly complex or consider many factors? No, it's barely got one factor.
There's a riot involved.
There's a grapple hook and a riot. Boom, nailed it. Swish, 3 points.
Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? No.
So our details are entry point, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And you're going through a window, it sounded like?
Most
Windows are made of glass. That's weak.
They're real.
I
things.
didn't say they were made. I see right through what you're trying to do here.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
now the
I-
my favorite Shadowrun trick is the windows are actually transparent concrete because that's a thing in the world
That's
of
a
Shadowrun.
yeah, I know that. I have run across those windows before, and let me tell you, when you're a driver and you're like, "I'm just gonna smash our van through this window to escape," and they're like, "Actually, that's invisible plasteel." You're like,
Hot
Yeah.
prank.
So, is the target strongest against this approach? So you're not getting the extra die for vulnerability. Is the target strongest against this approach?
Like they're strong against a bunch
Or do
of
they have
approaches. I feel like
particular
strong, yes,
defenses
so.
or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? I think I've narrated pretty well that they do.
Valid.
Look, Nat, you have to take all this because you're the one who's like, "It's no big deal."
I feel like their special preparations are taxed because of the riot personally, so they shouldn't apply. But that's how I would do it if I was running this one.
So we'll get
Or
there.
they're
There are
theoretically more, but they're
questions.
spread thinner.
There are questions that lend themselves to that part, so we'll get there. We will. We're not done. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? I will ask you.
20 of them.
Okay, so who? Like who in what way?
So there's Marlene, who is the head coach at one of the bars I could have gone to. Uh, Obviously, I already owe her, so like that's always fun.
Okay.
Double down.
If the various people that I sort of incited into the riot count as friends, I think we're friends.
I would also like to
think we're
say
friends.
that one of my friends is Valeris a spy, and if I tap into this individual and owe them a favor, maybe we could get some spy info about this place.
You could. I'm thinking about it. I think I'm inclined to just treat the rioters as your friends providing aid.
Sure.
So
I was also going to mention that I actually have a dock worker friend who's probably in said riot.
Lol.
or bad thing. You have
What do you
a lot
want
of
with
things.
What do you want with my cat? What? Gotcha.
Is your
Nailed
next
it.
pet going to be named Lamau?
Yep.
Okay, moving on past that. Are there any other elements you want to consider? I think that. I've already considered the tier. I'm going to give you an extra die because specifically I feel like this is a thing where you have been kind of on the trail of this thing for a while. Avmalia has done work to kind of track it down. It's been an ongoing long-term story thread since like the second session of the game. So I think that I want to give you an extra die for that, which brings you to a net of 3 dice for your engagement roll, which is not bad, y'all.
No, it's not.
I'm okay with it.
Good.
TP.
And it's a 6!
We are controlled!
You start in a controlled position when the action starts. And that's where we're going to take our first break. So, we'll be back in 5 minutes or so. And everybody get a drink, do whatever other business you got. And
hi,
while
Jesse.
Jesse just appeared in chat and is
Jesse-
very concerned.
Jesse, there is. I will resum up more at the end, but basically, the docks are on fire. The Ministry of Preservation has made a move against the Strangford and seized some of their ships, and they decided on the spur of the moment to start or encourage, I guess, a riot and storm the Ministry of Preservation for the map book.
Oh,
I feel like Kyle handed this
I
one to me,
beg
honestly.
to differ, sir. I strongly beg to differ in that we were like, I don't know,
didn't
what do you
think
want to
y'all
do
were-
tonight? And then somebody was like, hey, a silver platter with a mission. And why don't you take
Honestly, all I was
That's
trying to do
exactly
was
what happened.
communicate the faction clocks that had filled. That's all I was doing.
Which was great. But then when
We
it
saw
turned
an
into a
exposed neck
riot,
and went
it
for
felt
it.
like, oh, this is perfect.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No. Okay. Now it's a 2-part blame. Okay. It's then Avi was like, this is the perfect plan to do it. I don't want to do this.
And
if
then
anyone's
Beryl
out there
like,
listening,
explicitly helped the riot.
yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay.
And I just want to make it clear, Rand is the coward and not Moreland Hells, okay? Moreland Hells is tough and rough. Rand is the soft little person who's like, please don't do anything. This is very dangerous. Okay.
Fair. All right, now we're going to go to a quick break, and then when we come back, we will figure out what the hell happens next. Oh my god, y'all. Doskvol right now is just... I don't know if I want to say it's aflame,
Yet.
but it's... So, the Ministry of Preservation has seized the fleet of Leviathan hunter ships belonging to the Strangfords, who are part of the City Council. And the City Council has been having a weakened political position lately anyway, in part due to this and in part due to the machinations of the Scotlander consulate. as part of all of this, as you're climbing up this roof, you can see one of the Navy warships coming loose from its mooring. Undocking is perhaps implies more control than is happening right now.
I'm gonna grimace a little, just sort of. That wasn't. Yeah, that's fine.
You can see. It's hard to see exactly what's going on, but there is some sort of pandemonium on the deck of the Navy warship.
Oopsie
Doskvol
poopsie.
has such a beautiful glow at this time of day.
You are climbing up the. Well, you tell me. Are you climbing up the outside of this Norfolk Company office, or are you going up inside to get to the like top of it and then come across from there? Is that your plan?
Because we got a 6 on the engagement roll, doesn't that mean we get to skip like the first?
Yeah. I'm just asking.
Difficulty.
I'm just curious if you're going up the outside or the inside. You think of this as scene setting.
Okay.
I was thinking outside personally in my mind.
Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, just campus it.
Okay, so you kind of scamper up with your gear on you. You get to the top, and now, no, I think that the let's rappel across the street is the action moment that I want to pick up on. I just wanted to see if you were shoving your way upstairs or climbing up the outside. That was all. So, you are there. How is it you're getting across again?
Grapnels.
Yeah, so Char like turns to both of you and has like a cigar like in their mouth, and it's like not burning. He's just sort of like chewing on a stub of it. Yep. And he's just like, if we just brought some of those people you incited over here, we could have used them as a better distraction than leaving them going about their own devices. But anyway.
Honestly, maybe. It's hard to tell a bunch of people to do what to do when you want them to do a specific thing. When you want them to do a general thing, I've found it's usually easiest to just piss them off.
I agree.
Molly hands Morlan this grapnel, big black rope with some sort of hooked structure on the end, says, railing over there. That would have tied them to us too easily if they were right here.
All right, so I'm going to use Prowl here.
I feel like this should be like a group action.
Okay, let's group Prowl.
I was thinking we shoot one, then we zip across one at a time. Was my mind?
Zip
Was
line.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
So one person does like the
So my thought was
action or whatever.
Morlan is the best shot. This is This is kind of like that.
Yeah, Prowl. Well, if you wanted to call it Prowl or Hunt, either works. I'm just trying to understand which. I understand which you want. You tell me how you want to do it, and then we'll figure out what makes sense.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use Hunt only because I want to flavor it with Hunt more so than I want to flavor it with Prowl. Like, Prowl is Morland being like, all right, time to slink into the shadows or, like, leap across something. So with Hunt, he's like, there's some 18-horned goats out in the Deathlands. Only way to catch them is to catch them up with one of these in the horns. Ride them around until they're too tired to move and then stab them. Not where you'd think. Their heart's located near their stomach. Took me 14 different creatures to figure that out. A lot of wasted meat. And then he throws the thing. Grappling hook.
Okay. So you
Barrel was like riding along that story, got a little sad at the thought of like killing the goats, but then was just kind of interested in their biology and stuff. It's neat stuff.
All right.
So you are in a controlled position. You are trying to rappel across. I feel like this is... Let's just call standard effect. We'll call it controlled standard.
All right. I'm going to push myself here for an extra die to sort of...
Right there.
Yep. And he's just like, yeah.
That's a 5. So you hesitate. You can either try a different approach, or you can do it with a minor consequence.
Let's just take the minor consequence.
Okay. This makes sense. I'm checking something here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to start a temporary clock. I'm going to try a different size clock this time, y'all.
2.
Oh.
In your
snap.
No, in your favor. In your favor of an 8 clock.
Oh, all right.
And this clock is, I'm just going to call it full alert.
Command and Conquer, full alert. Yep, I like that game.
That was
That
red
was not
alert.
the name of the. I know.
Yeah.
Look, it was a.
Okay, I got it.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
out.
too literal.
I'm out.
I apologize. I'm the bad guy here.
Moreland jumps off the fucking roof.
Well, at least he got the grappling hook in place.
If
So-
there's ever a better description for what Char's and Amalia's relationship is like, it's he murders himself and she's like, at least the rope's over there. Yep. All right.
So you can see again this that warship has finally kind of gotten under like a little bit of control, gotten itself steady, and is heading out to sea.
Do I? Kyle. Is there a chance that I might recognize this warship?
This
From this distance, nah.
from this distance, that would be pretty difficult.
Could
Oh, fair enough.
Recognize
I
the
am-
specific warship?
Yeah, I mean, like, they all have different arrangements of cannons or whatever, you know? Like,
Oh,
no
okay.
two things are the same. Just like,
Honestly,
okay.
do
possibly,
I know
yeah.
this one?
Fair.
Do you want, how about as I zip across, I study it?
So yeah, this is gonna be a gather information.
Or that. I guess you still use stats.
You still need an
Survey
action.
seems
Yeah.
best. Studies.
I
an
imagine
option.
as we zip across one at a time, there's like the sun is because in the twilight and dawn it gives a little orange glow. Is kind of against the ocean. You can kind of almost silhouetting, and it's dull red, orange. This warship.
So yeah, no, okay, yeah. Then this is not a gather. This is just an action roll. So
Sure.
from here, you are still in a controlled position. I'm gonna say this is controlled limited.
Sure.
Only so much you can tell from this distance.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes a lot of sense. So study. That
If you want to do study, that's up to study.
Specific information about a target.
Study a person, document, or item with close scrutiny versus survey. You can study. You're just trying to kind of read the. To me, that's like you're trying to read the name and see what you remember. Versus
I'm like
survey,
yeah, like,
which to me
well,
says
for me, the study, the part that makes the thing is and apply knowledge because this is about applying my knowledge from previous time to try to identify the ship.
okay. So this is controlled limited.
Sure. I'm fine with that.
Do you want any pushing or devil's bargain or anything like that?
I'll take it. I mean, I'll always entertain Devil's Bargain, but this is more just like an on the side thing as I'm zipping by.
Okay, I
Do I
mean,
know that ship?
oh yeah, no. I'm gonna lean on my favorite devil's bargain, which is I'm gonna take your Leviathan Awakens clock as you're kind of feeling the call of the sea as you're studying this warship.
3 more of those, and I'm
You
not
don't
sure
have
it's
to
worth
take
here.
it. Okay, it's your choice.
All right.
I feel like we can assume.
I kind of shoot for like a 50-50 accept rate on devil's bargains. If you accept them too much, that tells me that I'm giving you too much on them, and if you don't accept them often enough, then I'm making them too hard.
I'm just gonna say I don't think a tick on that clock, based on your responses around it, feels even to a lot of the other clocks you tick for Devil's Bargain.
Okay, you're the one that come up with the Leviathan Awakens clock.
I expect it to be like 16 segments or something.
That, you know what? That might be fair. I might change it to like I'm about 16. I might change it to an
Anyway.
8 clock, but
Yeah, I mean, like 16 is obviously hyperbole.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah, I
I
got
could have
you.
seen a 12 on that. Anyway, I'm just gonna do this 2 dice. Let's go.
okay. 5. That's fine. So there's gonna be a minor consequence.
Yeah.
Which I think is just you stand there kind of studying it for a moment, and that'll put you in a risky position because people kind of see you. Or you can withdraw and try a different approach because
I don't
it is.
think I can withdraw zipping across a zip line.
No, this
I guess I'll
this is the withdrawal of the study.
Yeah, I think I just won't catch the boat properly, and I'll just
Keep going.
not take that opportunity.
Okay. All right.
Valid.
I'm not
All right.
sure our position as a group is worth that.
Okay. So
I can find that out
Just
later.
assume that it's the Strangford warship.
no, it's
seems
no. I think I told you that it was a Navy warship. It was a Navy
Oh.
warship.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, would the Navy not be of the City Council?
No, this is the
that-
Imperial Navy.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I would like to retract everything that I said earlier and instead just say woof.
Skip it, don't look.
Yeah.
Keep
This-
going.
Yeah, I don't need to know that.
This
Yeah.
riot
Honestly,
has
if I understood
gone.
that already, I probably wouldn't have wanted to roll that study in the first place.
This
So
riot has grown. They grew up so fast, you know.
they have a way of doing that. So, the line is across. The other two of you you're in a controlled position. How are you going to rappel across?
Group prowl.
Yeah, it sounds like a group prowl.
Okay. Then I will say, in that sense, we will consider the previous hunt to have been a setup, and you can choose either improved position, or which you already don't need, or effect. I was going to say controlled standard to get across, so if you want, you can make a controlled great.
That sounds amazing.
Let's just switch it all the way and do desperate extreme, and then
I don't know that.
I'm just kidding.
You tempt me.
So yeah, you're in controlled great for a group action. Who's leading the group action?
I will.
Okay, so each of you can make that roll. I'm suspecting that for controlled great, you're probably, and a group action at that, you're probably not looking for devil's bargains.
Really?
I'm saving
Maybe
the
just
rest of
cute
my
ones.
stress. I'm saving the rest of
Fair.
my stress for when we're inside and like alarms
All
are
right,
going off.
655.
So 6, 2,
Uh,
and 6.
3 6s.
So
we got a
barrel
critical.
is not. Barrel gets
I
a
take
little
a
wobbly up there.
Yeah.
But no, this is. I just want to point out this is a
crit.
critical. Oh
Yep.
my
It is.
gosh.
That'd be a crit
It was-
even without synchronized.
Yep.
Right.
Even without
Yeah.
synchronized, it would be a
Because
crit because
my
Moorland is just
clumsy
hot
ass-
on
Well,
it.
there
today.
goes my transparent concrete.
no, that was
Dab on the haters.
you know, that stuff was on a boat at the docks and it was gonna get shipped here, but ooh, the riot. Ooh.
No, what I'm going to say is, because it's critical, that you slide through and one of the windows wasn't locked, and so when Char comes through, it just bloop pops right open, opens up like this. It's not a slide open window, right? It's like this, and you do the superhero 3-point stance landing, and you're inside the building. You look around. You are in sort of an office, like an officer's office, and it's quiet. It's very dark and quiet. I guess.
And
it's
then
time-
that 2 from Barrel is him ruining my 3-point landing by crashing into me, and I'm like, Christ,
Yes.
my shoulder.
And like Beryl doesn't even like use that to like steady himself to like land well. He's on his butt. Like
Right. So, do I get an experience point for that roll? Because don't you get an XP if you roll a critical, or am I misremembering that?
That's just
okay.
desperate.
All right. Really, man.
That'd be a fun house roll,
Yeah.
but
I thought that was a thing, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
You are
I
now
remember
inside. The stream has heard the music change, and that's because you're now inside.
All right.
Thanks to Michael Gelfie. Go to michaelgelfie.com for lending us his music with permission.
Michael, what a bro.
And
He
so,
does for role playing games and stuff that are relatively like just indie like this. He's like, yeah, but I did check with them, and I didn't just download. Like I went to Bandcamp and paid and downloaded it. Like, so
Kyle, what a bro.
Indie creators got to make a living too. So
Yeah.
Word up.
Support artists in this household.
Yep.
so you're inside this
100%.
building. What do you do?
So yeah, Char, like, the cigar is sort of like crooked now because he fell over and it like smashed against the ground, and so it's like a little bit crumpled. And he like takes it out of his mouth, and, like licks his lips and like looks over at Molly. He's like, "All right, where's the book?"
Can I feel where the direction the book is in?
Down.
Oh Christ,
Damn.
it's gonna be in the basement. We're like,
Great.
let's go into a
Let's
top
go in-
building. Yeah.
Well, but Randland, remember, it wouldn't be in the basement if we hadn't gone in the window on the
True.
third floor.
It's true. If we had went through, the basement, it would have been on the 8th floor of the whatever building. Okay.
Molly reaches in her pocket and pulls out one of Moreland's purple wrapped cigars and hands it to him.
Is it moist?
It's relatively dry.
It wasn't wet and then dried, and so it's like anyway. He takes it and he's like, "Thanks," and like sticks it in his mouth, and it's just like it's that thing where you put something in and you're not expecting it to taste like salt. And you're like,
It's just a little salty.
yeah.
Kind of like Rand
Hey,
was a
we're
few
handsome.
minutes ago.
I'm super salty about lots of things. God damn it.
All right.
So we're going
gotta
down?
Look for a way down, or head down if we just can.
Yeah, so you peek out in the hallway. You don't see anybody right here. You do see a stairway leading down, but it's fairly like open, right? It's like a hidden
It's
stairway.
the main stairway.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we look for maybe like a dumbwaiter type thing?
Do we have any? Yeah, Barrel's definitely gonna
Crawl
fit in
down.
one of those.
Well, that's what a prowl roll's for.
True.
Have faith.
I mean, if I have to climb after the dumbwaiter,
Right. No, I mean, you're not going to get... None of us are going to get in the dumbwaiter. Well, maybe
That's
Amalia
dangerous.
wants to, but...
I
I don't
Um,
know. Eyes might be able to if she were here, but
yeah.
true.
I mean, Moreland could, but he's not going to.
But that could be a good way to go down with where we wouldn't gather
True.
much tension.
So he's like, does anybody have any way of knowing if this place is alarmed? Like, I don't want to make any more moves if we don't have to without being able to tell if there's something around here.
Can't tell. I can't say about physical things, but she
Do you want to
pulls
see
out
if it... Yeah.
her
Yeah.
spirit mask, her
Okay.
fine spirit
Look
mask,
for
lets
ghost
her see
alarm.
the auras of magic and crap.
Yeah.
so what is the spirit? What does you do with the spirit mask?
I don't actually have the text in front of me, but I want to say it's something on the lines of lets you see auras of
I
magic.
thought it
and
lets you
crap.
see the. You know what? Let me look because I know we dealt with this before.
In
You
this
are a
party,
you are a whisper.
Yes, that's a whisper.
Allows the trained user to see supernatural energies in great detail.
Which would be like arcane traps, I would hope. In some...
Yeah, I will just tell you as you don this. If you now this is one of your load that you're marking.
Yeah.
Then in this room there aren't any, but you can feel within the building itself there is some amount of arcane energy that you can sense from below.
That was what was going to be my next question.
Right.
We're clear in this room.
Okay. So
And
let's
sure,
try
there's
and
a
find-
small dumbwaiter, sure.
I was gonna say, let's try and use this. Hopefully, they didn't think toward this thing, and more than yeah.
It's not that big
I-
though. Like you were correct. You're not going to fit through it.
I mean, is okay. Can
so
any of us fit through it?
Well,
if we
I have
move
a
the
trick that would let me
if
get
we
through it.
move the dumbwaiter up so that we can go under it
Right,
and just
I don't mean-
climb through the shaft.
Right, I'm not
Yeah, I was
talking about
thinking
actually
boom to the
using the
shaft.
dumb waiter, but actually like shimmying.
Yeah, but
down
the shaft is not going to be much larger than the thing.
Yeah, but dumb waiters are like big.
Like humans can fit through a gap of about like 2.5 feet.
Maybe you can.
We are fit.
Yeah, fair. I'm just saying.
On the one hand, Barrel's a thick boy. On the other hand, like arms up, he's only probably about 3.5 feet
Yeah,
wide.
it's really the shoulders. That's it.
All-
That's the stop point.
Again, all that I'm really trying to say is that maybe for you, Kyle is not.
I understood where Kyle was coming from.
Yes.
I mean,
so
I will tick off a thing on like burglary gear if that means that there's some sort of like grease, right, where you just like lube yourself up.
Isn't that what Molly is for?
Yeah, just
Water isn't really like a great lubricant for.
Have
like,
you tried void seawater?
No, because
Chris.
I choked on it so that we could have our magic power. It's not really. I mean, we could use saliva if you want. That's a little bit more viscous, but I don't know if any of us can supply that much.
I think of the three.
Because if it's
Malia
not-
is the smallest, so
Easily.
Yeah.
I'll scout it out, try it out, see where it leads. If it only leads to the kitchen, like we don't want it anyway. For instance,
I mean,
yeah, like
we
if
do
it doesn't go
because-
below ground.
I mean, we would because that's how many floors down before.
I mean,
that we don't have to take.
okay. If it only leads to a dining room with 24 guests, we're
Right,
not
there we
going
go.
down it.
And
Put it
they're
that way.
all spirit wardens with big old rifles.
And in spirit wardens and inspectors. The
Yeah,
lot.
Yeah.
There's demons in there and some ghosts and shit.
Actually,
that reconcile.
demons of Malia might be like, yeah, the coast is clear.
I swear, if that happens, Moreland will never forget. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. Ah!
Demons.
Rips his
Now,
own
if there's
eyes
ghosts,
out. Yeah.
if there's ghosts, I'll just have to call eyes out of the ether.
Yeah. I can't handle this.
Ice
We
is,
need eyes.
Ice is car sick and isn't going to make it anymore.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Have you ever watched Sherlock and seen that not our division gif
Right.
from
Yeah.
of course yeah.
So, what is it you're trying to do? You tell me.
I was thinking I'd go climb down the dumbwaiter rope like upside down
Okay.
quietly.
And what
Are
action
we just-
is that?
Are we
I was thinking
waiting?
I'd prowl down it.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So
I
you
feel
are
like right now we're just kind of like chilling in the room, like
You
hiding
are-
behind the door.
you are in a controlled position. You're just trying to see where it goes.
Yeah, scout.
Yeah, we'll call that standard.
Sure.
In terms of, I'm trying to find the thing. There we go.
Controlled. Standard.
I'm gonna need to get Rhodes to invent like flare guns so I can carry those around and just be like, thunk. and
I mean,
shoot
I don't
those.
think you almost have to invent those. The hand torches and
Require
stuff are
assets.
almost a thing in the city. I think you can
Okay.
just buy it.
Okay, like acquire an asset.
I don't think you got to do that. I think you just mark a load or something.
okay.
We should.
Yo,
What we
you
think
could have a
about it.
flare gun for this mission.
That's. I mean, I just wanted to shoot a flare down there so we could see the alien as it like skittered away. We just only see the tail, and
This
we're
would
like,
be a
oh,
great
okay.
moment to be assaulted by some, xenomorph horror.
Exactly. That's what I was exactly thinking it was gonna happen.
So you're gonna skitter down,
Should I submit that?
unless you're wanting to do some additional stuff to get
That's a
bonuses on it.
crit.
That's a
Nice.
crit.
Play the Trump.
663.
Wow.
Our rolls this heist have been just.
Do not say that until we're done with the heist. Do
You know-
not say that.
You know what? Macbeth.
So
Yeah, fair.
So you scamper down. It turns out to be easier than you thought.
I mean, when the rope is lubricated, it helps.
And
Ugh.
you just zzz, and you find yourself in what looks like an archive room, like a file room. Like this wasn't whoever's in this office. This isn't used to bring up their lunch. This is used to bring up documents and stuff.
Is anyone in there right now that I can tell?
Not at the moment.
All right. So I'll get down and quietly poke my head through the hole and get on my feet.
Okay.
Come through it, and then I'm gonna over to the rope and do it like a really quick, like as a signal.
Yeah. I don't think you have to. I wouldn't even charge you stress for a flashback to say, once
Yeah.
means it's okay, twice means watch out. Whatever that is.
So twice means come here. It's
Okay.
good.
All right.
Don't fuck up.
You want to go first?
And Char's like, was it 1 is cool, 2 is flee, or was it 2 is cool, 1 is run?
No idea. I can't.
All right, let's go. And then you wait. You can't count. Hold on. You can't count.
No, I can count on being smart ass.
Okay, because if you have kids, it's your responsibility to make sure they know how to read and do numbers. Is all
Oh
I'm
no,
saying.
they're already
Can
smarter than me.
openers.
I guarantee that.
Okay, all right. And so Char's like,
So, do you want to do a group action, or do you want to just individually do your own rolls and take it as it goes?
I mean, we can go. I'm fine doing a group action because I will help Barrel. I feel like
It'd just be the two of you.
2 of us. Yeah.
it's up to you two. I mean,
How'd
you
you
two
get
can do
this?
either way.
Yeah.
You want
Well,
to do
I'm cool with group
individual
action.
rolls? Okay. Who's going to lead it?
How much stress do you have?
I have space for 5 more stress.
Okay, I guess I'll lead it because I technically have 1 more than you. All right.
Fair.
So we're doing controlled.
Controlled
Standard.
standard.
6.
So 6 and a 4.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. No
Yep.
stress.
No worries. You're down there.
Char's
As
jumping on
you're-
your shoulders trying to unwedge you as you get stuck several times.
I will tell you that because you have a 6, you do it. You get down there. You're all in this room. You can faintly hear you hear steps, but faint steps outside the door of the room that you're in, someplace. It's not in the room with you,
Louder?
but they're echoing down the hall.
So what's this room like? It's like an archive room. Is the thing in here, or do we keep going down?
It is not in here.
Okay.
You had a crit. You're basically at ground level. It is further beneath.
So we probably need to explore in this level to find the secret hidden sanctum beneath, or some trash like that.
I mean, I feel I hate to say it, but this is all so much prowl. But yeah, I mean, I think, Moreland hunches down and like checks to make sure that he has like a blackjack just like ready in one of his pockets.
If things get if those steps start feeling like they're getting louder, and I think I'm always gonna say it's actually in character. If those steps start approaching, we need to get ready to ambush anybody that comes through there.
And yeah, he like pats the pocket where he just like
Does ether exist in this universe?
No, that's sleep powder. It's more of a tinker thing.
If you only had roads with you.
I'm ready to spend some stress on a flashback to
acquire some.
Borrow
Yeah.
something from.
I mean, roads. I mean,
Roads.
yeah.
or I
Only
could
problem-
just choke someone till they're unconscious. That's also an option. Like,
I can help
So,
with that.
are you planning to go out the door?
Are there any?
Just in case someone approaches.
Yeah. Don't overplan. We'll stress.
And then-
we'll flashback if we need.
I just want to make sure that we are checking for traps. I have my 10-foot pole out, and I'm waving it around on the ground. I know, but
Well,
I mean,
Kind of spreading some
Kyle,
flour to
does
see if
it
there's
seem
any.
I have my bag of marbles ready. I'm like, come on, baby.
don't forget your mirror.
Yeah, true.
Um, is there only one method forward, or is there a decision point here?
There are 2 doors. One of the doors has the footsteps. The other door is quiet.
Why don't we try that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's our point?
That's a good question. Who is opening the door?
I have lots of stress to resist consequences.
I'm
do it.
Lorge.
Your lord.
I mean,
I also resist better.
right. He
But
has
it's-
bodyguards, so it's whoever's gonna open it.
I'll do it.
Sure. I'll be behind you.
You open the door, and what you see on the other side is a flickering energy field. And on the other side of it, a grate and a lift.
I'm gonna put on the spirit mask again to see if I learn anything more about the energy field.
Let's see if this counts as supernatural.
Who are you? Oh, sorry.
I don't
It's
know.
an,
This is
you
why I'm
you
trying it.
you. It is an electroplasmic barrier. It's similar to the lightning barrier, not identical, but it's similar.
For containing or keeping out ghosty belly.
This
it's
one is
prob-
certainly electrified. Like
Right.
you can hear it crackling, you can smell the ozone. So whatever the lightning barrier around the city may or may not be, this one is also a barrier to bog standard humans.
Right. So this is when Moreland like looks at it and like sniffs the air around it, and he's like, "Okay, don't touch this." And I'm gonna do a flashback
Can't touch
to
this.
have a what looks like a stack of pieces of metal just laying on top of each other, and what happens is you stick it onto whatever it is and you open it to the sides and then connect it to the top, and it creates a hole inside of an electroplasmic barrier that you can walk through without breaking the connection.
Without dying.
So this is something that you have?
I mean, I'm doing a flashback to acquire this.
Oh, okay. That is.
I mean, it would be like a subterfuge supply. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I don't
see.
burglary
I don't
gear.
I think I think it just counts as one of your burglary gear kinds of things. I don't think you have to do
Okay.
a flashback to have gear. for
Well, I mean,
this.
but this is like a very specific piece of gear, right? So I don't know if it necessarily comes bog standard in like burglary gear.
I think for your kinds of stuff, we're going to say yes because you are a strange professional crew.
So fairway cages, kind of.
I mean,
Just
yeah,
burglary
it's
gear.
yeah. I think that and especially because electroplasmic barriers like this are known, so maybe
I just
not
wanted
maybe
to-
not your regular cat burglar who just or people who just knock over liquor stores and stuff. But for y'all, I think this counts as regular burglary.
We
gear.
steal weird shit.
Yeah. You broke into a spirit warden's house.
Also,
You
I
summoned
feel
ghosts just to find out where somebody sleeps. You've literally gone through the ghost city to get out of a cult summoning of demons. I think this counts as just regular. In other words, don't worry about the extra stress for it.
Okay.
Amazing.
That worked well.
This is something that's useful when some people erect these around their homes out in the Deathlands.
Is there any kind of like keypad or interface with the device? Some way a normal person with like a key might get past this that I could see?
Yeah, I think there is sort of there's a lockbox. You can see It's locked. It's locked, so you don't know what's in it, but it's probably got some sort of controls in it.
All right. Can I try to, after we are through the lightning thing with Moreland's lovely thing, can I try to like jam that lockbox closed so it would be hard for someone to access it?
Okay, what action is that?
I was thinking I would tinker with it.
That very much feels like a tinker.
Yeah.
That's controlled standard.
All right. And I don't actually have like burglary gear or stuff marked yet, so I'll do that to represent, this area of usage. And I'm considering pushing myself.
There's also always Devil's Bargain.
Anyone got a devil's bargain? Because I generally prefer that.
I have an easy devil's bargain, seriously, which is just I put one tick on the full alert clock. Okay. That's what it's for. I mean, that's literally what it's for this stuff.
All right. And that makes sense. This is something that they could find and be suspicious about.
Or somebody walks by, what happened here? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
2 4s.
2 4s. So again, you hesitate. You can either try a different approach, or there's going to be a minor consequence.
Do I get to know what the minor consequence is?
I'm
never sure on that one, because sometimes we do and sometimes we don't.
I think
sometimes it's also
so you're doing it. You realize you could push it in. You could do it, right? This is the withdraw or have the consequence. If you go ahead and do it, then you're going to probably make some extra noise, and I'll put another tick on the alert on the 8 clock. That is the alert clock.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Now it's a regular 6 o'clock. Hooray! Phew,
we finally got home, boys.
I'm much more comfortable in this situation. Huh.
All right.
Y'all.
So this thing is kind of jammed now, and you get inside, and there's just one lever.
All right, and let's take down this thing so it doesn't look.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Once everybody gets through, I think Char I think it's a little bit arcane in the way that he sort of like closes it down and it starts sort of like slowly filling up again, and he just sort of puts it back and there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. You pull the lever, and there's a loud clanking sound. And it's not quite that soft. It's like this grinding sound, like one of those industrial lifts. You're going down.
Can I try to see the burglary gear explicitly has oil to silence squeaky hinges? Is there anything I could do here?
You're gonna have to. You would definitely need to. I mean, I don't want to tell you what action to roll, but that very much feels like like the definition of the word tinker.
You get that stuff that alchemists or leeches have that silences things.
But because it's a whole this isn't one hinge. There's a whole bunch of equipment. This would be controlled limited.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That even doesn't particularly seem feasible. So I'll let it ride.
Okay, all right. So there's this crunching sound.
6 ticks on the clock.
Should have tried.
And you get to a point. I mean, you're seeing around you just sort of like stone and cement. And as you go further down, you start to see just these barriers. You estimate you've gone down the equivalent of several stories in this shaft now. And yeah, you're starting to see the not what's the word I'm looking for? Not I-beams, but geez, I've only had one beer. But anyway, it's like the equivalent of rafters. Anyway,
yeah.
You get, and all of a sudden it stops.
And can I sense we're on the correct level?
If you're not on the correct level, you're very close to it. It's not down. Doesn't feel down. Maybe it's a little bit down, But if it is, it's more like this instead of like this.
Might be one level or
Maybe, or you might be on
floor.
like it's hard to yeah. You're within. You're pretty close to horizontalish with it.
Just a nice post-war split-level home.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of reinforced wood for this deep, dark mine that they dug too deep and too greedily for. No problem.
Man cave.
So
Sheesh.
you're there. There's these, basically on the other side of the grate, there's this heavy metal door.
Is the grate opening, or do we have to do that ourselves?
You kind of just, yeah, exactly.
This looks extremely not something that I can deal with.
Is it magic?
This door is not magic.
Okay.
Is it locked?
Do you push
Just
it?
check the old handle here.
Do you push on it, Bart?
Thoughts? I'm gonna
Answer
like
the
hover my hand over it.
Answer the question.
No, like Bart, like legitimately, like hand half an inch from the door, turn back, eyes to the smart people.
It might be locked. I remember it might be.
It might be.
alarmed.
It might be trapped. Yeah.
Is there a
have a-
keyhole?
No.
Or some other
There's
obvious
a.
thing?
You see a small circular indentation about 6 inches wide.
A Dragon Ball hole. I've always dreamed of finding one of these.
Is a fucking vault?
Okay. It like looks at Avmalia and is like, Avmalia, you seem to have a way with these tools. How are we supposed to get past this?
Well,
What is it?
It's not magic, so I imagine it's some sort of locking mechanism that's a little more custom. Wonder if it's more secure from the other side.
You going under?
Thinking about it.
Oh my god. Okay. But now I'm trying to
I wish I
think
could.
this-
I have this really spooky Mage's Tower music playing because you're in the equivalent, right, of an underground, like an inverted wizard's tower.
Sure, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really want this to be a flashback for like I don't know.
you could absolutely, if there's something you want to do a flashback for, tell me.
So Char wants to use, and this is, I want to hunt down the person who did this security for this building and figure out what special things they have in this building. And this door is going to be part of it.
But I don't
And
think so. Let's be clear. You didn't know which building it was
True.
until you started.
Didn't we? Like we had in fiction of Molly had like looked into this a bunch.
Yeah, she didn't know exactly. I mean, we did rolls to establish
To
which
figure out which
building it was.
So instead of specific buildings, general ministry security, standard ministry. Who do they go to? What contractors do they use to create things? Would
Okay.
that help in this situation? Is what I'm asking. Because I want to do a flashback to have, this be a concern that Char has because Avmalia is been insistent on the last several jobs to be like, yo, this thing though, let's get that ministry. And
I will
Char's
say
like,
that this, without even having to do a flashback, I'm just going to tell you, I'm fairly confident you have never quite seen this type of security device.
Okay. So there's no way that I could find the people who installed this just based on like blind luck or anything like that.
How much stress does blind ass luck cost?
I imagine it costs
I mean,
3.
so here's the thing. That would be a pretty. So for flashback, that would be kind of a complex contingent one. That would be the 2 stress on its own.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to say that I have the key with me, that this dude like
Right.
gave it to me. I'm like, it opens. I'm more like, we need to go somewhere else in this fucking building and find this orb of power that needs to fit into this fucking slot.
Oh, it's not quite that bad.
You say that, but this is what Moreland imagines it is.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Is there a rock that's exactly the right size? Is it a hide key, but it's literally just a rock that's round that you pick up off the ground and stick into the hole? I mean,
So
Are there any suspiciously similarly shaped objects nearby?
is there anything?
okay, let me re-describe this thing because oh my god, we're having this moment. So you look more closely at the circular indentation,
Sure.
and it's got a circular indentation, and there's within it a small, like, a kind of going across the diameter, a small, almost like a handle. It is a handle. You could probably turn and rotate this and see what happens.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea.
Oh, is this like a vault door?
Seems like it.
Yeah, that's what
I totally
that's
haven't
what
been describing this from the beginning as a vault.
Right.
Okay.
Since,
the way
like,
you
weeks
would
ago.
describe a vault door is very different than I would describe a vault door. Then Kyle, and there's nothing
Okay,
wrong with
that's
that.
fair. That's
but
nothing
I have
wrong
been
with
lost
that.
for a while.
Okay, so there's a thing that you could turn and you could see what happens,
Yeah.
or you can try one of your other methods to go through this door.
I definitely don't want to explode it or wreck it, because that.
So
I'm
we
gonna
better
wreck
get
it.
the combination right.
There's no numbers on it.
Right. It's based on probably the position or degree at which you turn it. Right. So it's like
Stethoscope and burglary tools.
So okay, yeah. So I guess I can't do a flashback to have figured out. Cool. I already use my burglary tools. So someone else would have to use it.
I can try to get the lock open, just
Are you gonna actually just?
with sheer skill.
You mean sploosh in and then try and unlock it from the other side? Is that what?
Yeah.
Kyle.
You don't have to. We can obviously just get this horribly wrong and tick up clocks. So let's do one or the other, right? Either you're gonna go in water form, or we're gonna have Beryl stick his meaty paw in there and
Alright,
do this
alright.
while you
Beryl,
listen.
did you happen to remember to bring those demolition tools with the heavy drill in it?
Yup.
The drill? Okay, cool. That's not
That's how you get a safe.
true. True. It is true. Do we have any way to silence it? Can we use?
What, like 3 stories underground. That was my version of silencing it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
An option.
I guess we should probably try just turning it first, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a lot like a bank vault. Just sort of, well, maybe not even a bank vault per se. Just not necessarily having to drill and just listen for the tumblers and.
I mean,
spin it.
if it's anything like a bank vault, they will have like pressurized glass that if you drill into it, it will shatter and make it impossible for you to open with the drill anyway.
That's why you have to be really slow with the drill, so you drill through the glass.
Right. Okay. All right.
Payday style.
So, how about this? I will put my hand on the handle, and assuming it doesn't, like, explode, I will try turning it, and I will do it with my ear against it to listen.
It turns into the next position and you hear a ka-thunk. You can almost feel it in the as something heavy has moved.
Alright, I'm going to mentally mark what that sounded like and felt like and do it one more time.
And so Char,
You're gonna turn it back the other way?
No, I'm assuming it keeps going the same direction.
No,
Char,
it goes ka-junk.
Oh, that's it? I'm gonna
Char,
try pushing it open.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God! I just wanted you to turn the handle, like literally.
It sounds
You don't-
like
you don't put
it
a-
sounds like a secret.
you don't put a vault door somewhere. Look, I'm saying in Dungeons and Dragons, you put a door that you hear goblins on, and you're like, oh, it's trapped for sure. But you don't put you're on a heist, here's a giant fucking vault door, and say, like,
Okay, I'm gonna pull back the curtain a tiny bit and say the point is that it makes a sound when you turned that thing.
Right.
You had
Sure.
other ways to go to the door that would have been quieter.
Alright,
That
it
was
makes
the
a big
thing.
ass- It makes a big ass sound, and we open the door, and mercifully the next narration happens.
Mercifully. So
Sweet relief.
here's the thing. There's this relatively short hallway, maybe 20 feet long, but on either side of the hallway are these sort of, like the walls themselves have about a foot tall spaced viewing portals. Like, and on the other side of those, you can see a couple of guards on each side.
God.
Are the viewing portals glassed, or are they just open?
They're just open. They're like there's like some bars. So basically, there's just like this is like a checkpoint.
Are they okay? But are they bubbled so they can see up and down equally as far as they can see across?
Do we crawl on the
No.
ground?
Like,
No,
if you
they see the
crawl-
door open. If you can crawl, yeah, but they can go up to the. So think of it like there's like it's like comes up to about counter height. There's like some bars, so you can't just go in there. And about a foot above that, right, the wall continues, and they can look out and they can see. And as that door opens, their chatter kind of stops, and they turn to look at the door. What do you do?
That's a great question.
They're behind bars, glass, both.
Bars. There's no
Bars.
glass. And at the
How many
other end, there's another thick door with a circular handle next to it.
I feel like maybe we should spend a while thinking about that door before we.
Molly is gonna look at Morla and say, "You take the one on the left," as she.
There's two on each side.
Right.
You take the ones on the left.
Two on each side.
Okay. Within those things.
Yeah, as of Molly
Are
is
we
going to-
group actioning, trying to like rush them all?
How are you going to get in there? I know. Okay, rephrase that. How are the other two of you going to get in there?
Oh, I was thinking they shoot them in the face.
I was
Okay.
gonna say Avmalia is gonna drown them, and yeah, I mean, if this is what we're
I'm
gonna
just gonna
do,
smash my dude's head a little bit so that he knocks out. But
right? I mean, I don't have a way of making my shots non-lethal unless
valid. I'm not here to
aim-
judge.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Oh, let me ask you this question: could a cat that was 9 feet long
Fit through?
fit through? No, okay. All right. Look, I had to ask because technically Law is faster than any vehicle or creature. So, anyway.
Understood. It's not a question of speed. It's a question
Right.
of
Size,
a
no.
normal. They are spaced so that a person even could
Right.
not. Like Barrel can't
Right,
get
I
through.
get
You can absolutely, if you have guns,
Yeah.
which at least one of you does,
Right.
you could absolutely try to shoot them.
Can
I don't
we,
know what
can
Bart's
we-
gonna.
Yeah, can we try and hold them up? So, like, if Bart commands them, we're doing like a bank robbery now. So I pull out two pistols, or I assume pistols would be better, and holds them at them, and Bart's like,
Don't move, don't get dead.
yeah.
So you're going to try a command
Yes.
To buy time, basically.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be controlled. Trying to decide between limited and zero, but I'll go with limited because it's more fun. Well, no, you could do things to trade position for effect anyway, but
I would love to trade position for effect.
so to go to risky standard. So
Also, I believe Morlin is helping with the pew.
I will take a point of stress to have my pistols out in a aggressive manner.
I would also love to push myself.
Okay.
Unless there's a devil's bargain.
There's absolutely a devil's bargain.
I love devil's bargains.
Which is that I'm going to put another tick on the full alert clock.
That's to be expected.
I mean, they find us being there. I imagine they have some sort of alarm that is going to go off the second when this goes on for more than a quote unquote round.
So that's why I'm asking you, do you want the devil's bargain? Because Rand's right.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Full alert is now we are halfway to full alert.
It will keep them from doing a thing, so that...
So while they're doing that, I'm trying to slip in one of these behind them and prowl backstab them to death or incapacitation.
Okay, you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you've reduced effect, you end up on a desperate position. Yeah, so what I'm going to say is, I'm going to do... No, this isn't things go... This is, you do it, but it's not things go badly. So, which would be much more. I am going to say that I'm just going to put another tick on the full alert clock. Okay? And you see a couple of them holding their hands up like, whoa, whoa. Easy with the guns there. Easy.
Yeah, just keep the hands up. Don't touch shit.
And Avmalia, you're taking a stress to...
It costs me 2 stress.
2 stress. So is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
You're gonna liquefy?
Liquefy goes to prowl through and then come up with my blade or two to their necks and just be like, on the other side, it's like, let's be easy about this.
So somebody's asking, so Jihu's Eyes is asking about, are you going to be so bad? Let's be clear. Not only have they incited a riot, and I use the word incited specifically because it's not like you were the sole cause of it, but you did significantly escalate the riot. And at this point now, not only was there an explosion at the docks and riots going on, a Navy warship has been commandeered somehow from its moorings. You've broken into this building.
Which is after our involvement in the riot.
I'm just saying it's a whole thing. That's all that I'm saying.
Also, let's not...
Before this,
Yeah.
I placed this at like 2 heat.
Right.
Now that there are people who have seen us, it's more.
Right. And
So-
I would also like to point out Rhodes and Company had nothing to do with this, and it was all Barrel's fault.
Okay. So I see what you're... When you have your
Barrel will do fine in
entanglement
prison.
roll... Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
By the way, how hard is y'all's stop tonight?
Kind of soft.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, cool. All right, good.
Squishy.
Squishy.
soft.
I have just
Like
been delivered
flan.
a Bailey's cupcake, and I'm excited.
Oh my gosh.
High
See,
quality.
right now I want to go make some coffee and put some bourbon cream in it so bad. But it's 9:20 here, and I really shouldn't. Because then I won't
Go
see
for
it.
it.
I have to be up in like 12 hours to go to work, so...
Fair. Okay, so here's the thing. They're kind of... You said that you are liquefying, so you're taking the 2 stress for that.
Mm-hmm.
And, at this point, you're in a pretty risky position, but you are trying to...
Reasonable.
You're trying to kind of intimidate them in some way to standing down. What was the thing?
So, originally I was just gonna stab them, but given that their attempt to get people to hold up for a moment actually worked, I'm going to
So you're not going to
ambush.
stab them. Okay.
Yeah, just do the ambush with close violence to get the blade where we
Just
want it to
hostage
be, instead of the actual killing them part.
And
Drop your weapon, step away from the counter. Tell us what we need to know.
Okay.
And-
So,
and yeah.
what action are you planning to use for this?
I was thinking prowl, because to me, I think that getting there is the salient part.
Ambush with close violence. So this is about how well you attack them, then, not how well you convince them to do something.
No, I figure with a blade to their neck, that'll be easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is risky standard.
Let's do it. 4.
4. You do it, but there's a consequence. Yeah, so you slither across. Checking
I
some
like your
things
word
here.
choice.
And you reconstitute yourself with a blade at this guy's throat.
I mean, I was going for both of them.
Okay, you with blades at their throats. Hello, boys. And one of them, you see, kind of starts nervously fingering his sight, like he's kind of got a hand on a gun.
Just instantly slitting his throat.
Okay, what I was going to say was the consequence, which you could, of course, choose to resist, is I'm putting a tick on the full alert clock.
I would love to resist that
Okay.
for her.
Okay, so do your resistance roll. That's fine.
The way I am resisting is yelling, "Oi, fuckface! What did I just say?"
I'll just cut him a little bit. On his throat.
Well, let's see what. Okay, let's get that resistance roll. Which one are you resisting with? Resolve makes
Resolve.
sense.
Shit.
Oh, you clear a stress. Another crit. You all have had. This is like the 3rd or 4th crit tonight.
To be fair, that one I was rolling 4 dice.
Yeah,
You have
but
all the resolve
still.
skills.
Yep.
That's fun.
We here to party.
And so yeah, Char like after he shouts that, Char like looks over at Amalia and says, "No, remind me because I never actually. It's echoes, right? Like that's the
Echo.
Echo,
She
just
does
echo.
not use it very much.
I know that's why I can never remember what it actually is. But yeah, I mean, Char turns to Echo and says, "Is the item we need through there?"
She nods.
And then both guns pointed at the other 2 guards and is like, "Oi, barrel," and like nods towards the door.
Kyle, on the other side, do I see a way to get out of here that doesn't require going through the bars, and B, do I see like an alarm button or something that they might be eyeing?
You do see an alarm button, and they have their own door leading further in.
Okay.
Not back the way you came, obviously, but into whatever room is on the whatever's on the other side of that next door for you. They have their own doors to it.
Cool.
On the note of that next door, ka-chunk.
You gonna just open it up?
I'm gonna walk these 2 away from that alarm button.
Yeah, where's the alarm button? I think Char's
I think
like,
it's like
"Where's
on
the
the
alarm?"
it's like on the back side on the lower wall there.
Okay.
Where the usual bank alarm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
So-
you can easily. There's no roll for this. You've already got them kind of under control, and you move them away from it. So it sounds to me. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just restating what I understand the position to be. Is that at one place, Char has guns pointed at 2 guards, and on the other side, Echo has blades at the throats of the 2 other guards. And they're also, you can see them feeling kind of icky because as you're right up them, they can feel all your wet dampness, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What's
And
wrong?"
I think, I think while Beryl is doing his awesome thing, diving further, we're probably getting these guys to drop what weapons they have and like subdue them a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, they'll drop their weapons. Beryl, you're just opening that door.
Yeah, I'm going in at this point. Like, We're not exactly in a hurry, but yeah, just ka-chunk.
You might not be, but
Somebody is.
So, ka-chunk happens, and
Opening the door kind of slowly, just sort of like at a wide angle, looking.
I feel like I'm thinking out loud here.
Hit me.
Just thinking about the game itself.
Mess me up.
Like, I think makes sense in this case. There's a consequence for not even trying to find some quiet way to open it up or whatever, right?
My
Similar
only
to-
thought against that would be that and I don't know the full situation, but if all the people who would respond to that sound we have subdued, I have a hard time imagining that would change much.
No, that is
I
not the case.
assume there might be people on the other side of this.
It's not so much that as these are all systems.
right.
So I'm putting a tick on there's one tick
Yeah,
on the alert clock.
similar to
Definitely.
the. Yeah.
I
And-
definitely support you can tick things based on narrative movement.
Yeah.
It doesn't all have to.
So you just ka-chunk. The vault door. You can kind of hear it disengage, and it slides up. And in this room, you see a number of like pylons.
Pylons.
You must construct additional ones.
I mean, we need more, is what I was going to say.
Right.
But yeah,
So yeah, you need. So there are they're like strangely shaped, almost like obelisks, but with the tops a little bit more flat. They're this dark bluish purple stone, and they flicker a little bit between them, and on the other side of within that, not on the other side, they form like a square, and within that area is a table with several tomes stacked on it. Off to the side is a small kind of desk study area where there are some papers kind of stacked up, some writing implements and whatnot. And there is a person in here.
I'm gonna rush them.
Okay. So
In the MO today.
I don't
I mean,
have
that's-
a ranged weapon. I have reflexes, and I'm not about to let them possibly touch a thing.
okay. So what action are you thinking for this?
I don't have the book in front of me, but I feel like skirmish, even though my intention
Okay.
is not to hurt them.
You are assaulting or holding a position, brawling and wrestling,
it's wrestling.
a skirmish, an opponent
Yeah, it is
in
very much
close.
wrestle.
Okay,
Yeah, if you're
okay.
trying to
I am closing to
subdue
ground.
or immobilize
Yeah,
it's a skirmish.
yep, absolutely. Makes sense.
Basketball style, palm their face, hand over their mouth.
Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be
Attempting to strangle the wizard.
Not
kind of.
strangling yet.
Look, that wizard shouldn't have hid behind that curtain and made himself out to be the great and powerful. That's all I'm saying.
I'm
Just
just
come
saying.
out. Just come out
If
straight.
they
Yeah.
look like they're gonna step,
We're gonna go with risky standard. This, I don't. It would be desperate if this person was like a soldier or something like that. But I
but they're
think
very clearly just.
this is an ancient, wizened, old, scholarly looking type. So that's gonna make it just risky. So risky standard. Do you want a devil's bargain?
I would love to hear a devil's bargain. Those are sweet, sweet words.
I mean, you've only got 2 ticks left on full alert. I can
Please
do one of
don't.
them. Just
Please
one.
don't.
Nah,
Please
this
don't.
action's specifically to avoid that. So,
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, God.
that being said, I would love to trade position for effect.
And go for desperate great.
Yeah.
I would love for you to do that too.
See that
Don't worry, I'll push myself.
Okay.
do it.
Wow. I feel like there's so much stress happening here.
Well, yeah, but if I keep getting
but
crit
you'll-
resists,
Yeah, that's true. Let's see what you got.
Oof. Okay.
ew.
4. You do it, but there's a consequence. There's going to be a serious complication.
Aren't you glad I pushed myself?
No,
Braggadocio.
better. Severe harm. As you rush this
Construct
person,
additional pylons.
yeah.
Pylons, fuck.
As you rush this person, you get them under control. But just before you get to them, you see them do some kind of gesture with their hand. And lightning arcs out from one of those pylons, wrapping you around it, and you take level 2 harm electrical burns.
I think I'm gonna try and resist that.
Okay, you can resist it to level 1, and you can expend armor to completely resist it, if you have armor.
Oh yeah.
It's up to you.
Plus 2
I'm
low.
gonna try for the. So across 4 dice, I'm almost certainly gonna hit a 5.
We hope.
That is the crux of the game.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
one
let's
thing
go
about
ahead and-
Blades is the odds are very
Okay, so
laid out for you.
you reduce it
Yep.
to 1 just by resisting. It's just a question of how much stress you take.
I think he's seeing if he traumas.
You're gonna take.
Trauma.
You traumaed out?
Exactly.
You got a 4,
Oh
so
my
you take 2
God.
stress.
Just
When you
because take a
said
trauma
5, I
doesn't mean
didn't-
you're out of the
Yeah.
run.
Right, I
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay. You still do you expend your armor as you're doing it? By the way,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and expect.
might as well, right? If you're going out anyway. So what does it? What does it look like when you just trauma out? What does it look like when Bart traumas out? Does the zap just knock him unconscious or what?
So I feel like this is going to be a little bit more of a psychological traumaing out. What with he was able to physically resist all of this. At this point, he's just been pushed to a breaking point. And much along the lines of the trauma I've been considering Bart taking for a minute. Also, yes, Jesse, finally, Bart trauma's out.
You
Is it
feel the
just-
danger clock. I haven't even gotten to use it. I was gonna use it here, but I didn't
mean,
think of it in time.
so
I
the way
yeah.
that Bart's going to trauma out is once he's got the wizened wizard in his grasp, I'm going to calmly, disturbingly calmly say to this man, open the lightning barrier or I'm going to impale you on it. And if he waits this long, I'm going to start lifting him.
So
Because they're pylons.
yeah. When I say pilot, what I'm thinking, these are about 4 feet tall, and I mentioned they have kind of a flattened top on them,
I mean,
right? So they're
Bart
kind of
can
like
perform
out a little
superhuman
bit.
feats.
Yeah, I mean you could still, but you've traumatized out, so like you're out of the action.
Sure.
So
I'm going to
But he also
viciously threaten
succeeded.
the person.
what? What was that,
He
Nat?
also succeeded.
He did
right,
succeed.
though?
Yeah. So he's got the guy under control, right? I think what I think makes more sense is that getting him under control means you've given. He doesn't actually dress like a wizard. He's got
Yeah.
white button-up shirt and suspenders, and he's kind of a hunched over, somewhat old man with stringy white hair. Not a crazy wizard hat. He's just like. He looks like Grandpa or whatever.
His hat's on his heart.
And you just take him down. He thwacks his head on the stone floor as you do this. And so he's not dead. He is unconscious. So he can't continue. So you succeed. But when you try to resist the electric arc from the pylon, that's what you were resisting that caused you to trauma out. So, what does that look like? Does it knock you unconscious? Does it just send you into a rage or scares you so bad you go quivering in the corner?
probably knocks unconscious, I feel like, at that point.
Okay. I mean, there's a, this thing
Yeah.
arcs over to you, wraps around you,
Yeah.
and you
He's going to
resist
make a very
the...
loud and obvious noise
Okay.
because he's large.
Right. Yeah. All of you hear this collapse. Ka-thunk. All right. Avmalia and Char. What do you do?
What do the guards do? Do they react to this at all?
Yeah. To some extent, yeah. They're kind of like, oh. They can't. I think that maybe they can't see from where they are. They can't really see Bart.
Okay.
They hear the flight. They hear the zap, and they hear the ka-thunk, and they're just like, "Whoa, man!"
I like to think that like we know what Bart collapsing sounds like,
Yep.
and maybe,
Fair.
and I'm just gonna very very stoic to these two. It's like, what's in that room?
The books. We don't know. Listen, regards. You know you're not going to get out of here alive, right? Like there's people upstairs.
And
They're not going to
he's
let
gonna
you out.
shut him up by like yank against his throat a little bit.
Anyway, books.
What's dangerous in there?
Everything.
How do we get through it?
Don't know. It's creepy.
Useless. Should your lives be useless too?
Should our lives be? Well, I mean, this is me asking.
Yeah, that's a threat.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. We're not. We're just guards.
Insight check. No.
Done. I believe him. They don't pay him enough to die.
I mean, yeah.
That's my theory.
So what do you two do?
Yeah, so Char looks at Avmalia and is like, that is for sure where that thing is.
Avmalia is completely confident that the map book is in those books.
It's in there. I mean, and Avmalia's gonna look at Char. Actually, no. Avmalia's going to whisper in Char's ear, taking a stress, because I don't think we can let the guards know. It's like, I think it's time to take the hit. I think we have to drop these loose ends. On 3?
Boom. I mean, Char shoot. Yeah.
And just
1,
at the
2.
same time,
Yep.
just 2 shots and 2 threats.
Yep.
1 sound.
Okay. You hear within your chest, you can feel the reverberation of this deep, large bell. All of you. And ticking a clock.
That seems reasonable. The clock moved.
The clock. It's moving.
I almost
No,
want
I
to
think-
tick it full, but I'm gonna.
I mean, if you think that is what would happen.
I'm just thinking about kill. I'm gonna wait and see something that happens. So.
Okay.
I mean, we have a different kind of clock also because the spirit wardens are gonna be on our ass.
That's
too
kind
now.
of what I'm thinking, but
Right.
anyways, so what do you do in this room now that you've killed 4 guards?
Those are done. It is very much of Malia's going to be like we need the 2 uniforms that are the cleanest.
Yeah, there should only be a little bit of blood on these. I shot them both in the face, and so he just
that makes it less bloody.
Well, I mean, what a slit throat or
Okay,
exploding
compared to a
faces.
slit throat, he's probably right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's probably chunks on the shirt.
Although
yeah.
the ones on mine have they have a head start getting washed.
There's a little bit. All right. Well, if yours are cleaner, sure. So yeah, we
take the 2 cleanest ones. That's all
Yep.
we need to say really, and then we're gonna go into that room.
How much heat does this crew have already?
6.
It's enough to get a wanted level.
Oh yeah, y'all are getting so much wanted level.
To be fair, the dead bodies thing is only if things died at all. It is not cumulative.
Right, but
Right.
So
correct.
that was we're gonna take 2 heat to get out of this current situation.
It's
And
one.
so, yeah.
It's 1 heat. Yeah, 2 heat for killing. There's other heats involved here, but yes.
Oh, definitely. But it was to get out of that current stick up. It was
Okay.
like, okay, you gotta
Right.
All
take
right,
the
so
hit.
you can get through these doors if you want back into the vault room. What do you do though about these sort of electrified arcane?
Time for you to
Pylons.
attune and for me to help you, I think.
I'm just literally just like, we don't have time. When we see Beryl on the ground unconscious, like, oh,
Right.
that's unfortunate. I'm gonna take care of the electricity for a moment. Grab all the books.
Yep.
Can we grab all the books? How many books are there? I was imagining like 6 books.
I'm gonna assume that you can stick them in your packs and whatever. It's gonna overload you a little bit. You're gonna be heavy. Wait, no, heavy. What? No, hang on. It may not be heavy because I don't want it to have I don't want it to be like a -1 die to everything. Isn't that what heavy does?
I think just narratively slows you down.
No,
I don't
I
think heavy-
I
No,
think
there
it
is a
actually-
mechanical effect.
Yeah.
On heavy? I thought that was unencumbered or something. There's like something above that.
No, is
I'm
there?
gonna double check.
If not, I will drop extra load, quote unquote, to fit them.
Who needs
Okay.
these demolition tools and this giant weird spike weapon? Huh?
Okay, yeah, no, it's when you get to how much load are you taking?
I don't
How
know.
much-
How much load are you at?
Load
So
the
before
books.
you have the books, you were at normal, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Was that 4 or 5 for you?
it's 5.
5.
5. Okay.
And then we have 2 free for
Okay. So this is going to move you to heavy, not encumbered.
Okay, let's do it.
Yep.
Okay. Plus,
And I'm
now
gonna-
that said, you have an unconscious.
Yeah,
Bart
I'll do
there.
that
That's what
too.
I mean. This is gonna be. Maybe this I can finally use a flashback as Law runs in, and they already have some sweet saddlebags that Char has stitched up for them.
Okay, you can,
like
do,
that.
She
you
can
can do
carry.
you can do 1 stress for that.
Okay.
Sure. All right, I'm going to deal with this. And
I'll grab the books.
Molly is going to just clamp her hand on the pylon and attempt to attune with it to divert all the lightning out of one of the connection points, so Morland can just full speed yoink.
Yep. Sure would be nice if Barrow was still unconscious.
So you are doing what again?
Channeling electroplasmic energy with attune. It's in its description.
Okay. At this point, I think you are in a desperate position.
That feels appropriate.
But I'll call it sure standard effect.
Sounds good to me.
Wow.
There's no one to help me.
I mean, I can help you.
How?
If I can
you need to
fictional-
grab the books.
No, right? No, I mean, if I can fictionally use a tune.
In
to
some
help-
sense, this is actually kind of a setup for Char to get past the
Sure.
Yeah.
the stuff. So this is really
I'm
more
try-
about giving
Okay.
Char a better position or
I'm
better
trying to
position.
do this. I'm
Okay.
trying to do this long enough that he can get in there, grab, and get out.
Yeah,
I would
this
be
is
hoping
so
you
that
wouldn't have
it's-
to roll for that.
Well, it depends on how well you do. If you do well enough, it'll be okay. So
So,
it's-
I'll push myself because what other?
If you've
life
got the
is there
stress to
live?
handle it.
What
Yeah.
what other life is there to live? Yep.
Oh my gosh, we need eyes. Yeah, I was just thinking that Houston was putting too bad eyes in there. I was just thinking that.
Desperate. I'm gonna mark resolve, and this is standard effect because I'm hoping that's good enough. And this is +1 dice. I'm going 4 dice.
Come on. Nice.
Oh,
A
you do it
6.
6.
Woo!
I was like, oh my god, am I gonna have to? Okay.
Are we
Yeah,
all gonna just die in this
L,
room? That'll be
total party
sweet.
loss.
I think that here's how I want to imagine this. Nat, tell me if you're okay with this. That actually water streams out from your hand and wraps itself around one of the pylons, sort of absorbing some of the. And you could see the water charging up with all the electroplasmic
Love
energy
it.
from this thing. Rand, now's your moment. Okay, since he did it or she did it without a consequence, yeah, you could just run in.
Char and Law both team up. We're both like ready to go, and yeah, Char just stuffs them in to the saddlebags that he has constructed for Law, puts all the books in there. Law runs out, and he's gonna run over to Barrel because Barrel is the next thing.
Yeah, so how are you going to get Barrel out?
So I pull my hand back and I'm like steaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now this thing is sort of crackling. Zzz, zzz, and it looks pretty unsafe, that thing now.
Yeah. And I'm gonna... Okay, let's get Barrel away from that. And as I reach in my pocket and pull out a ghost key, and it's like, I just have to hope there's a way out of here.
There better be a way out of here.
So how are you getting out?
I'm gonna
Ghost
attempt to find a ghost door.
Oh, this is your ghost key thing, right?
Yeah, the whisper ghost key. So there isn't necessarily a ghost door, but if there is, it's like the where the demon, it's like the Earth, Wind, and Fire demons. Same concept.
Damn, I wish that Bart was still conscious because I would be driving him crazy right now. Okay,
Do I need to attune to find?
Oh
one?
yeah, that's yes. Oh yeah.
Is this desperate? I feel like it's desperate.
This is so desperate. This is ridiculously desperate because you are deep underground in a tier 6 vault. It's desperate limited.
Well, then,
You're in an arcane warded vault.
Can you help me out, Morlan?
Yep. I do have a
Anybody can attune.
right.
Yeah.
I have a dot in attune as well.
Okay,
Oh,
even
it's
more.
I was asking if he was willing to,
Oh.
not if
Yeah.
he could, really.
I mean, I'm also gonna tick unusual weapon, and Moreland like grabs in his bag this huge like heavy ass chain, and he starts wrapping Barrel like with it, and then hoists him onto his back with the chain in his hands, and he's just gonna sort of like drag the shit out of this big person with this chain, because that's the only way that I can see that I can carry
All right.
big boy.
So I got an extra die. I'll push. So I can't just use that assist die for effect, right? You can't just normally trade a die for effect. I don't think.
No,
But
normally
can I say that my assistance is for effect or no? Does it have to be a die? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it has to.
Okay, that's fine.
So I will push myself to get to standard effect,
All right.
which puts me one stress away from a trauma.
Yeah.
you don't even have one. So
Yeah.
I'm really okay. Well, I'm at this point. I'm less worried about having a trauma and more worried about being out of the action.
Right.
I mean that just puts
That's-
Char in a position to be super awesome. That's all.
That's
Yeah.
a very that's a very optimistic way of looking at it, Mr. Grimdark DM.
Right. Look, Law can carry both of you.
I want you to succeed. That's the thing.
Right.
I just want
Alright,
you to
so-
just barely succeed.
All right. So I have pushed myself for so it'll be desperate standard, and I have an extra die, so I'm rolling 4 dice on desperate standard.
You can do it. Come on, crit. Ooh,
6.
a 6.
Not a crit.
Woo!
I'm gonna do a quick fortune roll.
Sure.
You can guess. I don't like to roll hidden. I like to roll in the open.
So is good for us, or is good bad for us?
Good is good for you.
Okay. I always like to know before these kind
Fair.
of things.
How
This
many
is-
ghosts are just waiting for us? Like, yo, what's up? Ooh, a 6.
That's
No, it's total of 6. Sorry, I added them up.
I'm sorry.
It's a 5.
Okay.
that's still pretty good. That's
Yeah.
still pretty good.
So
Well, apparently we're giving Jesse stress over here. That's fair.
here's what I'm gonna do. You are in the ghost city. The thing is, so there's a door here. I'm
So
assuming
I
you're going
tune
through
to
it.
a door and kind of.
Yeah, and it's like a photo negative. Is what everything looks
Right.
like, right?
And I think it's just go.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, Char has this chain wrapped under Barrow's armpits, and he has him like hoisted up onto his back. I don't
Being
know if you.
dragged into the ghost field.
And he's just walking, trudging into the ghost field.
It's like,
And Lal has all the books in a big satchel and is like trudging after them.
I think I'm gonna do a thing. But I want to make sure that y'all are okay with this.
hit me.
We have a related danger clock that's actually a danger clock that was tied to Eyes and her ritual, but it's so appropriate here that I want to put one tick on the Spirit Well clock.
Hey Jesse, how you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, that's totally up to Jesse.
Hey Jesse, you gonna take the devil's bargain?
I mean, if not, I can come up with a different complication.
Yeah, Nirix just shows up because that
No, y'all-
goddamn bottle is broken.
Oh my god.
All caps.
On the
spirit.
on the
Spirit Well.
that
Yeah,
feels like
all
a
right.
positive.
The way Jesse communicates, yes, I'm sure that's what that is.
Yep.
So,
Spirit.
Affirmative.
Well, here we go.
you feel the reality around you sort of warp and pulsate for a moment. And you feel this crackle from another dimension. But you're inside this city now. And where you are, I think we determined before, I think we decided it's basically just like an echo of the city itself, right? Here's the thing, where you are just underground. The vault isn't present here. You can effectively swim up, as it were, through the ghost earth.
Ghost Earth.
Because you are in much the same way that a ghost can pass through physical things. This is the inverse of that. You are physical things that can sort of pass through the spirit part of it. But I think that you should do some kind of action to get through it.
Does a group prowl? Well, not. Can Lol help?
I don't know what this says for hound pets.
Rand, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for what? What part about the pet thing are you talking about?
I was thinking about. At
It-
first, my brain went from prowl to group
What is
prowl.
what is
with,
the-
like physical?
What is the arcane ability that Law has?
Really
Arrow
fast.
Swift.
Or you don't have
She's-
Ghost Hunter? Or you
Yeah,
do,
no,
right?
she does. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She has Arrow Swift, as in she's faster than any, or she's as fast as any land creature or vehicle.
Okay.
So that
All
doesn't
right.
necessarily, but it gives her potency against tracking or fighting the supernatural.
Okay.
So I think a prowl works because we have swim, right? Because that's
Yeah, perfect.
particularly
Awesome.
what prowls for.
So you're in a desperate position, but I'm going to say desperate standard.
Can you lead this one? I have one stress box left.
Yeah, I have 4, so
Okay.
should be fine. All right.
Okay. And I do contribute a pile of dice to this.
Right. No, I know. I understand. I just. All right, and it's
Desperate
standard. Okay.
Yeah, desperate standard.
mark
Because
an
if things
EXP.
go bad,
Oof.
there's a 4,
4
and a
6.
6.
Thank you.
Okay. So
And
no.
Law, I think,
Are
freaks
we
out a
heading
little
home?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, where are you headed from here?
Home seems good. I want to say I pull out my arcane influence, the spirit anchor stones, and kind of just like touch one to Lol and Barrel as we're moving through this, try to keep them from warping back
Yep.
as we head home.
And that's fine because I take out my arcane implement and just like it's like a spirit paint charm, except in the ghost field it turns into like a soul anchor, and it just sort of like, yeah.
And I guess we head near home, but like, you know, maybe not straight to our train yard, but someplace that'll be safe.
So where are you? Are you not taking the book back to your lair?
I mean, we
Oh.
need. That's
We will, but it's just like,
You're just not exiting the ghost field in your lair.
yeah. Then
Okay.
we're heading home.
Okay,
That
all
needs to
right. I
happen.
misunderstood. Okay.
I was just worried that like this would place the spirit well or something later on, and it would just appear right in the middle of our house, and that would be bad.
Don't know. I just know.
I don't know. This is just paranoid Nat.
Another dimension, another dimension, another dimension, another dimension.
Well, friends, that was a thing that happened.
You mean a
Fucking
beauty,
score.
I feel like. A thing of beauty.
Let's see. If
Of a
this is-
strange professional job. Look.
Sure, we'll go with that. Oops, I didn't. I just stopped the music completely by accident.
I mean, we didn't kill anybody until we had to. That is a sign of a
I
true
feel like-
professional.
Yeah, I feel like the moment we chose to do that, it was like between me and Ram, just like, yeah, we gotta do this.
I mean, that was the only thing that Char could think of was like the second. It was either going to be you do it or Char was just going to shoot them without you talking to him, because the second you hear Barrel go and just like fall over, it's like,
Well,
okay, we're done.
We're losing control of the situation.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so you earn 2 rep per score by default. So we are now officially in the payoff. Everybody cool? Good with that?
We did it, fam.
Hey, everybody, we're all alive. The crew might get stomped next time, but that's next time crew's problem. Am I
Here's
right?
the thing. The target of your score was, according to my faction sheet that I had prepped before the game, tier 6. I had moved
5
them up.
tiers.
There are 6 tiers.
No,
Oh,
no,
7
they're
if you can.
they're 5 above us. As well.
Yes, they're 5. So that's 7 rep. But I don't think rep carries over. I think you just max it out.
Yep. Doesn't
So
it? Because don't you have to use all of it to?
Oh no, because here we're just moving from weak to stronghold, so I think.
oh,
it
you might. Tell you what. Let me double. I think
Oh, it
you're
moves
right.
it to strong, and then you clear it
Yeah,
and
I
put the
think
rest
you're
of
right.
it.
I want to double check, but I think you're right, Nat.
But
You usually
you can
are.
just sit there and you need money, definitely sometimes.
Right. Which is a mood for life. You just sits there and you need money.
So how much are we standing to have?
Oh,
left
this
over?
isn't
Over?
okay. This isn't tier. This is rep for turf.
Hmm?
Hang on, I'm rechecking. Rep.
Rep.
When your hold, if your hold is weak, it becomes strong. Reset your rep to 0. It does not carry over. But you are now tier 1 stronghold.
Woot.
Okay.
Which when we go to war with the ministry,
That means we won't drop to tier 0 again. That's
Right.
actually pretty big. Also,
Yeah,
if we
exactly.
hadn't gotten fucking assaulted at our home base in like session 2, we'd be tier 2.
Yeah, and I think I don't know that I did that exactly right, but you are where you are. You
No, that's
also earn a coin reward. What I'm going to say is, unless you choose otherwise, those books, those other books that you bought, you can sell for coin. Unless you
question
want to
is-
prefer to
They
keep
were-
the books.
I was assuming there were extra books, so you had an excuse to pay us. That was my assumption.
Awesome,
while we were there.
perfect. That's what I'm saying here.
Are any of them on a horticulture?
None of them are on
there
horticulture.
Not
Is
one
there-
special one on horticulture.
There's not just one goddamn book about plants. God damn it!
Not only one in this whole.
We're just going to call this, because you also got that book, I'll just call this a standard score at 6 coin.
Yeah.
So you
And
can
this
either, or some other thing, you could take 2 each. You could take 1 each and put 3 to the crew, because the crew's at 1 right now. Up to you.
How many coins do we need? It's tier times 3.
Yeah, you're going to need to build up your. You're going to either need to. No, it's for your. So it's your new tier times 8. So when you
8,
get to
16.
you're going to need 16 coin to be able to tier up. Whenever you
We
get
might
to
actually
your,
have to spend some upgrades on vaults. Ugh.
we should do that soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No,
we're gonna
actually. Oh wait, never mind. I was
we're
thinking
getting
this.
we're getting a crew.
We're probably
advancement
getting
right
a
now.
crew advancement.
Right. So
We could just put. We're getting 8 coin, 6 coin.
6 coin. You're getting 6 coin right now.
You want to You want to just buy a vault, quote unquote, and put all 6 in the crew.
So for now, you're going to take 1 each and put 3 in the crew, and then later on, if you want to dump some of your personal coin in there, you can. Unless any of you are full up.
I am not.
I am full.
Before this?
Yeah, I mean, I meant to spend a couple coin on downtime actions to research a ritual, but I never actually got around to it because I didn't have my book.
Well,
All right.
if you just redistribute your wealth to Beryl and I, we can just hold it in our.
I'm going to
coin
assume that
purses.
one of the
In
two
my
of you
stash.
can hold some extra coin before you do whatever you're going to
Yep.
do. Heat. Oh, this is the fun part.
So wait, does stash go up only when you tier up, or do
No, you can increase your personal stash. Anytime you want to put coin in there, you can put coin in there. It's not the
Okay.
same
And
as
also
crew
every
vaults are a
time-
different thing.
Every
Right.
time the crew gets an advance, you also get some stash.
Oh,
you get
do?
stash equals tier plus 2.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So how many stash should we have?
we can figure that off. I'll have to figure that offline.
Anyway,
That's going to
Okay.
be a little
I
bit.
that's fine.
actually happen to know that that'll give you the first row full except for the last one.
Oh, okay. Then I'm
So that's 9.
9. Okay.
Yes.
I did some of that.
9.
I totally have the first tier done.
Me
Okay.
too. Boom. I upgraded my fucking lifestyle. All right. Sorry.
So,
everybody, I'm just
heat.
so excited about that.
First of all, this was not contained.
No, not by the end of it at least.
So before I even get to the killing part, just in general, this was loud and chaotic. This is not. I'm not going to go to wild, devastating exposure. That's too much, I think. But I think loud and chaotic feels right. So that's 4 heat. For a high-profile or well-connected target, 1 more. That's 5 heat.
Oof guts.
Did it happen on hostile turf? We said it was at the docks, which is not your turf. So that's 6 heat. Are you at war? No. Was killing involved? Yes. That is 8 heat, friends. Did somebody just move it? I just looked up and it's not where I thought it was.
Yeah, no, it is. I added it all together and gave us a wanted level.
Okay.
It is done.
Okay.
Sorry, I just jumped the gun because
You
you were
gotta-
counting it on your fingers.
You got to head there. So I was more doing it to just show the camera.
Oh, okay.
I had calculated in my head already. It's fine. It's all fine. So your wanted level is now 1. We're going to roll this bad boy.
1 die. 6.
6. Oh, and your heat, your overall heat is 4. Show of force. A faction with whom you have a negative status makes a play against your holdings. Give them 1 claim or go to war. You have to choose. Last time you didn't have any claims. So you could either give them a claim or go to war with. Let me see.
are
I'm
they
looking.
negative with?
I'm going to look at the faction list.
I will fucking go to war so we can keep that 2 coin per.
I mean, we can just kick their shit in next session and get it back.
Well, I mean that's what. Isn't that fundamentally the same thing? If we go to war.
Mechanically,
and
it's different. Narratively,
Okay,
it's
sure.
very
You're
similar.
going to because of who works for whom. It's the bill hooks.
then bill hooks. Fuck those guys. Fucking union breaking pieces of garbage. What tier are they? 3?
Tier 2.
2.
Are they? Do we know if they're strong or weak hold?
I don't think you know that right now.
Okay. If they have weak hold, we're gonna end up being the same tier if we go to war, and we can just.
Yeah. Well, I just upgraded my lifestyle, so all my guns are sweet. They're nice and shiny.
So do you want to go to war with them, or do you want to give them your covert drops? There are consequences to going to war. I want to be clear.
Right. It like
yeah, you get
lowers.
less downtime actions and
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
when you're at, let me just tell you, when you're at war, you lose 1 hold temporarily, which would knock you
Yeah.
back down to weak. It doesn't matter that much for you. PCs only get 1 free downtime action instead of 2. Take +1 heat from each score. That would be for future scores, not this one. And your claims, which generate coin, produce only half their normal income. That is different than what y'all have. That is not...
Right. I mean, we would lose covert drops if we just gave it to them. So,
So here's the thing: is I feel like we have to give them covert drops because being at war really sucks. But it's kind of annoying because our next score is that just means it's going to be let's go seize another claim and get covert drops back.
How does winning a war work?
it doesn't do anything, right? You just go back to like kind of normal.
You get your hold back because it's only temporary.
You
And
can
someone
end a
needs to-
war by eliminating your enemy or negotiating a mutual agreement to establish a new status rating, which is the levels that you have. So if you go to war, you either eliminate them or negotiate a mutual agreement.
Chase, please. Opinions.
I feel like, again, they're functionally the same thing. They're functionally the same thing for like actions, but like war is just worse for us mechanically. Like our next score is probably going to be getting the covert drops back, or just
Whether
beating up
that
the
be
bill hooks.
from them or getting it again with another connection.
Yeah.
Because we like that. We're gonna get it back.
I mean, to be honest with you, I only want to go to war so we can just stomp the shit out of the bill hooks.
I am
And-
very
just-
tempted to just put them in the ground, but we can do that outside of war.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay,
Yeah. We might even
fine.
get
Just
covert
give them the
drops back along
covert
the
drops
way.
then. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Sucks. Goodbye, covert
Fine.
drops. I'm gonna click on this. Oh, somebody else did. Cool.
I did it.
So, downtime. Downtime.
Did we want to do
grab more
XP?
claims from our scores.
We usually do XP at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Because technically, XP is the end of session. If you did multiple heists, multiple scores in a session, you could have multiple downtime phases.
We should probably start actually expanding into doing anything else.
Well, the
because-
thing is, like, from a stream standpoint, the story is the interesting one.
Just do
Right.
what's fun. This is a stream of people hanging out with our friends.
Oh, I know. I just
Not
mean like,
It's
big
just when the
times.
game...
Right.
I mean, anytime a game presents an option that is more beneficial but less fun, it's a conflict of interest to anyone
Right.
looking to have fun. Which is an unfortunate place to put anyone in.
yeah, I agree. Because functionally, to become a more powerful gang, you want to start getting all of this turf so that you can actually start generating.
I think scores
More
to get
outside.
turf are super interesting, depending on what they are. You know, if you're,
Right, but it just pigeonholes it a little bit for me. In my
I think that if you
I would agree.
did so your shadows, where you're getting, if you were doing a score to get a loyal fence, that's interesting. Just bog standard turf, not necessarily, but even then it would depend on what we did. We can make, in other words, any of it we can make interesting. We'll cross that bridge later.
Yeah.
For now, let us go around and do downtimes. Hey, Chase. Why don't
Yeah.
you tell us about your 2 downtime actions?
And if you're not familiar with this because you've never had a trauma before, if you don't indulge your vice, you get 1 stress.
I feel like there's no reason to indulge my vice because I'm
'Cause you don't
cleared on
have any,
stress because
but-
of that trauma.
Does he still get? I mean, you don't indulge your vice, but does he still get the stress from that? Is my question.
I feel like that would be a yes.
But it's
And your vice has been satisfied for the next downtime.
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah.
I remember something about it. You're fine. You don't have to.
I actually happened to look up stress and trauma during the session because I was curious what would happen.
Fair. So you don't have to worry about vice this time, or in the future, suddenly it'll be more important. So what do you What are you going to do?
So I would love to lower our heat because that is a thing that I do.
That is a thing that you often do. How are you going to do that?
With fists of fury.
Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna like.
Oh man.
I'm gonna beat up Snoopy people.
Probably beat up some bill hooks.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, can we just like pretend like we can beat up ministry folks, even though their jackets are so strong
like-
that they break our hands?
So let's do a command roll.
Or
So when I
skirmish?
said beat up, I was thinking about like actually.
Oh, then let's do a skirmish roll.
yeah,
Whatever. Sorry,
Get 'em.
I for whatever reason I had in my hand. That's what you said you were doing. I'm wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
dissuade via my talkies, not my talkies.
Oh Lord! All right,
Nice.
6. I'm going to reduce your heat by 3. It's a shame that happens after. All right.
Like they designed it that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Wythe is just gonna go back into prison, so it's fine.
What's your second downtime action?
What do people do with second downtime actions when they don't need a like?
Train.
Yeah, I mean to be honest,
Train.
it's probably train.
Unless you want to do a long-term project or an asset.
Can't think of a long-term
And
project.
I think you don't have any harm left to heal, do you?
Nah, resisted it.
Okay.
I have but 1 harm left to give for my.
That being said, had I done armor and then just healed it, I wouldn't be traumatized, but that's no fun. So I'm gonna train playbook because that's where the part.
Hey, what trauma are you taking, my friend?
I'm thinking reckless actually.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Yeah, really.
Oh, you and Rhodes are just gonna be reckless bros.
I love how y'all are this. I already see the downward spiral. Y'all have killed 2 weeks in a row now.
I didn't kill no.
We were pushed into a corner, Kyle.
I mean,
You forced yourself down into a corner.
I disagree.
The corner was there, and you were like, "I want what's in that corner."
I see your perspective, but I'm going to have to respectfully disagree.
I understand where you're coming from, but I just don't see it that way, Kyle.
I didn't come anywhere. Y'all went there. Anyway, it's fine. Okay, so you're training playbook. Cool. Nat, what is Amalia going to do with her downtime?
Malia's going to start by indulging that vice so hard.
Communing with her
why don't
patrons.
you just leave it? You got one.
I am 1 stress away from a trauma.
Just leave it.
But you don't have any trauma right now. You don't have to
Yeah,
take it.
and I like my character not 25% dead. Thank you very much.
It's not
Wow.
25% dead. That's such
That's-
such a negative focus.
That's
They're 25% more interesting.
I'm just gonna have to
I
say that I
disagree
agree
with
with
that
Kyle. I'm gonna have to
mathematically.
agree with Kyle on this one.
Okay. Anyway, if you're gonna reduce your stress, your vice is weird, right?
Yes, it is.
It's communing with your dark
4.
patron. So you're gonna clear 4 dice, clear 4 stress.
Right.
And what about your second downtime action? You gonna do that again?
I might, but I think first I want to train for. Actually, what's our heat at?
Your heat's at 1.
Oh, never mind.
It's your wanted that went up. That's the problem.
And you
Yeah.
can't lower that any way other than going to prison, right?
Correct.
There's no way to know.
Incarceration.
Can you actually? What if you specifically go out to do a job to lower your wanted level? Can you do that? Like if a score is lower,
It would
your
probably
wanted level.
you'd set someone up to take the fall for you. Is how you
Right.
do that.
Okay.
Well,
But
well,
can you-
well, for now,
All right,
you
that's
have 1
fine,
heat.
sorry. Look, I just think of these things and then say them out loud. I don't expect anybody. to
I
know
understand.
right at the time.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
what is it
so
you're gonna
just,
do?
Like, I'll just like train, I guess. Why not?
Okay.
Oh, that'll ding prowess, and I'll get a bubble in Wreckham.
Wreckham?
Because we don't have mastery yet, so I can't get 4 prow.
Yep. I know. That's what I was looking at too. I was like, ooh.
That's how you get that, right?
Yeah, you have to get mastery before you can get the 4th dot in anything.
Okay.
And then with my 3rd tertiary downtime action, which I get from calculating, now I'll indulge my vice a second time.
Oh,
6.
okay.
That'll overindulge. There's a reason I did that last.
Oh, life is so good. When you overindulge, do you
Well,
want
you
an
had this
addition?
ready.
No, I didn't. Was about to look it up and I realized I have it on a cheat sheet, but I couldn't remember. You can either attract trouble, entanglement, brag about your exploits, heat, lost, play a different character until this one returns from their bender, or tapped, your current purveyor cuts you off, find a new source for your vice.
Oh man.
Well, let's be honest. Of the options that make sense for Amalia, there were 2.
The last one would be amazing.
They
I'm just
all
saying-
make sense in different ways.
I'm saying the last one would be amazing from a role playing perspective. Not that it makes necessary sense for what Nat has envisioned for Amalia,
Right.
but that
Yeah.
that a giant demon fish is like, yo, leave me the fuck alone.
Stop
Fucking hell.
bugging me.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about you. I'm trying to eat this krill. Ugh.
So which one are you going to take, Nat? It's up to you.
Thinking. You know what? I'll attract trouble.
Okay.
Extra entanglement. We're at 1 heat. I feel like it probably won't be too bad.
Okay.
Why? The curse?
I don't know why I had decided I had
Macbeth,
to say
Macbeth,
that.
Macbeth.
I mean, over and over again.
Macbeth.
It turns out if he says Macbeth, it just means that somebody else suffers trauma, so it's fine.
Gang trouble, which doesn't apply for you. So the usual suspects. The bluecoats grab someone in the periphery of your crew. One player volunteers a friend or vice purveyor as the person most likely to be taken.
They can take my vice purveyor.
I'm going to do the thing that I very rarely do and say, I don't know if that's going to work here narratively.
That was a joke.
Okay.
However, I actually think my friend Ellen, who is likely in the riot, would be a likely candidate.
Oh, the dock worker? Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're going to I'm going to make a fortune roll to
Stay
see
strong, Ellen.
if they resist questioning, or you can pay the bluecoats off with a coin.
1 coin? I'll do that.
Okay. So you get her out of trouble by paying off
And
the
more than
bluecoats.
give me my coin back.
No. It's my coin. I just up. No, I'm just kidding. I take away a coin, you can have a coin.
And now, Char,
Hello, it's me.
time for your downtimes, buddy.
Cool. So let's indulge the vice because I can't overindulge. So that is one I like to, even though technically I only have 1 die. So nice. That's what happens.
It's a 1. You clear 1 stress.
I feel great, everybody, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that again for my second.
Dabs and then cries into arm.
2 stress. 2 stress.
Look, this is why I asked if we had resolve. Okay.
Remember
So
how I
my
said
fault.
that? I mean, you remember all those crits that y'all rolled earlier?
Yep.
Intimately.
Comes around.
Yep. It averages out. So, do you have a
I would
third?
actually.
Do you
yeah,
have a
I'm just
third
actually-
thing?
I'm just gonna spend a coin and I'm gonna train.
Okay. Cool.
All right, that is everything for me.
Okay. Now we go to the XP, and we'll do the crew XP first.
I will say, by the way, that narratively, because I would have done this if I didn't just really like playing off Malia, but narratively for a while, if Malia just takes the fancy book and walks into the ocean.
Right. And Char
Interesting.
tries to read the other ones, but none of them have diagrams of sweet plants, and so he's like, "This is not interesting. to me. I don't care what any of this is."
So, at the end of each session, for each item below, we'll mark 1 XP or 2 if it occurred multiple times. Did you execute a successful theft operation? Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm going to stipulate right now, did you contend with challenges above your current station?
Nah.
I'm going to give you 2 XP for that, which fills you up and carries 1 over. So you got.
Nice.
I'm just putting, we'll decide in Discord later. We won't decide tonight about your one advancement.
No, only the 3 of us could decide because we were on the score. Nobody else has a
Vault
say.
and resolve training it is.
Yep, exactly.
Bolster your
Well-
crew's reputation or develop a new one.
Have we developed vicious or murderous yet?
Feel like we're pretty vicious.
We did mention that if it happened again,
Yeah,
We-
I agree. So strange, professional, vicious.
Okay.
Does professional drop off at this point?
I mean, have we?
We're,
But have
we're
we
more
not?
strange than professional.
Yeah,
This
but have we done
the
we-
last
every job
several.
we do-
No, the last several have not been professional. You're not. You've done something for your own benefit, but not necessarily for like. Hey, you can count on these guys. They're the professionals. We can talk about it. I don't
But
want to.
also, does that matter? Anyway, my understanding of a professional would be like specifically someone asks us to do it a very specific way, and then we do it that way.
That's so. We'll talk about it in
Yeah, that's
offline.
fine.
But I have a note in the reputation change question mark. But certainly
Okay.
you've at least added vicious.
Right.
So reputation change, professional question mark. Okay.
All right.
Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? I think so.
Goals.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot
hashtag
there.
squad goals.
This has been a long going story thread that y'all have been pursuing. So I think this is
And the essential nature of the crew: hunt, attune, skirmish. The essential nature of the crew boiled down
Yeah,
into 3.
I prowl too.
Right. Prowl. Right.
And a weird amount of tinker.
There was
I
a
only
lot
got
of
one
tinker
dot on
tonight.
that. I just got lucky.
Yeah, and we didn't even have Rhodes here. Rhodes would have made that awesome. But
Yeah.
that's how it goes. Okay. Let's roll around XP at the individual level. Char, let's talk about your XP.
Hello, it's me, Chard. What's my XP? Let's see. Have I already marked down all my desperate actions. Did I address a challenge with tracking or violence? I'm just curious if anybody thinks that that's what happened.
No, there was definitely no
Like
tracking and there
once,
was zero
maybe?
violence.
I think you got twice.
Definitely, actually.
One for
Personally,
each corpse.
it's up to it's totally your choice. I was thinking there was tracking to find the place, and there was violence to kill the guards who weren't doing anything.
Right. I mean, sure, that's your way of putting it. They weren't doing anything, but I saw there's fingers trying to reach for those
All
buttons.
they were doing was trying to prevent somebody from stealing a book and failing. So, anyways, what do you
with
got
their
next?
lives.
Failing.
All right, you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Yes. I mean, I always try and add in like Deathland's things.
You had a whole bunch of stuff about the cigars and all of that. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, okay, cool. And then, did I struggle with issues from my vice or trauma? I think that cold, meaning that I didn't hesitate to shoot them. Amalia was like, "Let's shoot them." And
On
Char was
3,
like,
bam!
"Yep, yeah." And that's kind of like, I don't think Char, because if you remember the very first session we had, Char intentionally did not shoot anybody with his rifle. He missed them so that they would like get scared. That was like his shot. His trick shot was to not hurt anybody. And then this time he's just like, oh, both in the face. All right, there you go. So I see that as a struggle with the cold trauma. All right.
Anything else?
That is all for me.
All right. Nat. I mean,
Well-
Avmalia.
I addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power. Happened a few times.
2.
So like I had the kind of tracking on the book throughout, and then I very much enjoyed that last scene with the conduit. Oh, and then the ghost door. Fuck, there's a lot
Yep.
of this.
Yep.
So that's 2, and that dings me.
A lot of spooky
Express-
crap.
Expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. And this one's always iffy for me. Generate.
Tonight, I don't think it's that iffy.
Oh, but like I do the watery, voidy stuff on everything. Does it at a certain point it stops counting, doesn't it?
This heist was specifically your drive, though.
And it was
That's true.
And it was tied specifically to you being a Strangford.
That's right, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Struggled with issues from your vice or traumas. Well, I overindulged, so that's 1.
Yep.
Did it come up before that?
Nope.
I
I
don't
mean,
think
you
it-
don't have
so, just
you don't have a trauma yet, so that
I
didn't.
don't.
But your
Well,
vice.
but it can come up with the grading to your vice more than once.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying, like, when did the Leviathan call you to do anything? I don't think it did it?
Take
Other
a
than
look
get the
next.
book, maybe that was
Result.
enough of dealing
The
with your
result-
trauma or your vice.
That
again?
is connected to that.
It's up to you, but yeah, I could see
Eh.
that as well.
I'm good here.
Okay, anything else?
That's all of them.
All right. Now, Bart, what about your XP?
Yeah. First, addressed a situation with shouting or slapping. I feel like I did those things.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
actually says.
That's exactly
Uh,
what it says, Kyle. What are you
Rough
talking
translation.
Okay.
Addressed a challenge with violence or coercion.
Shouting and
Yeah.
slapping, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
The same.
Express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I did a couple of bar level schmoozing kind of things, sort of the everyman kind of thing. I feel like that's maybe like 1.
Mm-hmm. I
Really
mean, the
just kind of-
the whole thing with us trying to rip people off in bars is a very Bart thing to do, and thus.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Oh,
That's a
there's
fact.
that. Yeah.
I guess before that we were grifting fools.
Hopefully
And-
successfully. I don't know, but
Struggled with issues from my vice or traumas during this session? Not yet.
but you get one because you
You've
have
got a trauma.
trauma.
I feel
Oh,
like that
you get one for that
counts.
for getting a trauma. Neat.
I mean, I feel like it counts.
It
I think
does.
we have talked about it before. I mean, it's totally up to you, but everybody else has done it that way.
yeah, I'll take that.
Everybody else
experience.
who has a trauma, Nat.
Yeah. I mean, when I got my first trauma, I
Bite
took
me.
8 experience. So.
Oh, cool. That dings me then. No,
Just
I'm
kidding.
almost
I
done.
didn't do
I'll
that.
also say that like the clock got filled on Entranced by Demons today, right?
Oh yeah.
It did.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily a vice or a trauma.
Not yet.
Well,
well, no.
yeah, I guess that's
Related, I guess. It's more. I
feel
guess
like-
that'd be your
Drives, heritage, or background.
drives.
Yeah.
heritage,
Yeah.
background,
Yeah. I guess that guarantees the 2 there. Yeah.
The 8. You got 8. Good job, everybody.
Cool. Okay, I think we are ready to wrap it up for the night. Any other downtime, XP, wrap up types of things we should do?
I finally have 2 dots in resolve, so now my indulging vice won't suck as hard. I'm excited about that.
What is this book called, Kyle?
For now, it is the Stringford map book.
I was like, wait, you mean Blaze in the Dark? Look, my brain was like, did somebody in chat ask that question? Are you? What is this book called?
What is this? What Bobby? What the hell is
What
this book?
kind
What
of
are you reading?
book is?
I don't know, Dad.
Okay.
Figure that we can make clocks and put
Yep.
them on our sheets.
Yes.
You
Yes,
can.
you
I didn't
can.
know
You,
that.
you can also delete the clocks off of your sheet.
True. I also did that.
That one's
Also,
harder to do.
I forgot to remind you that you have a crew clock of selling off blue coat equipment that you can spend an action on, and when it fills, you'll get 4 coin. It's a 4 clock, and you'll get 4 coin when you sell it off for the group. But maybe you want to get your vaults first or something. Again, that's something we'll talk about later.
Somewhere to put them up.
All right, let's do some wrap up. Just by way of, before we get to everybody's individual things, just one quick note. We will not be here next week because I'll be at PAX Unplugged with Jesse and Cole, I think, is coming.
Cool.
And a whole ass load of people.
Wow, there's one in the call right now. You're not going to mention him.
Are you going, Nat? I forget. Right. Every week, I'm like, "Are you going?" And then you're like, "Yes."
To be your con buddy.
Yeah,
He's
and we
gonna be
both
there
talked
next
to.
week, and you're like, "Oh God, you made."
I
didn't
even
know you were showing up now.
dreamed last night about us pushing wheelchairs and being in wheelchairs and the whole wheelchair thing. Yes. So Jesse, Cole, Nat, me, and a bunch of people from Variant Roles and Dice Priority will also be there, among other places. So anyway, we won't be. Point being, no game next week. Let's go around and do anything you want people to know about. And my favorite part, Stars and Wishes. Chase.
Yeah. My name's Chase. You can find me at Fromonger on Twitter. I am, at the moment, not in any other games. That might change over the holidays. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Stars and Wishes. Stars are how quickly Malia was ready to just sort of be like, hey, this is the perfect time to do a heist because there's all this stuff going on. Just a snap, grab, we're doing this now. I appreciate the decisiveness. Rocked.
Fair. That's a big change for the group.
Right.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
The last couple of weeks have been
time.
like that.
Having so much time on the score, well, I wouldn't want it every time, was nice today.
Right. Now you
It was entertaining.
Mix it up a little bit, sure.
Yeah.
Wishes for the game to evolve in some way?
Yeah, I am very excited to explore the wonderful, fanciful world of traumas with all my new trauma friends, as opposed to like our nice little nerds in the front. We don't get traumas because we're nice kids. Sorry, I'm not a nice kid anymore.
Nat gets mad when we suggest that Avmalia should have trauma.
Nah.
I don't get mad.
You just said bite me on stream.
I said fight me.
Oh, fight me.
Yeah.
That's a significantly softer statement.
Fair. Honestly, I say just train up to vengeful. That's good enough.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm super excited to explore that. That should be really fun.
Cool. Nat, stuff you got going on, Stars and Wishes.
Hey, I am just very, very busy working to get things ready for PAX. Soon enough, I'll be part of a new streaming show, but what words are hushed on that a little bit still.
So just keep
stay
your eye
tuned.
on this. Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter at CrimeNat.
Hey.
And keep an eye open.
Stay tuned to this Nat channel.
Yeah.
Same Nat time, same Nat channel.
As for Stars and Wishes, I'd say this session probably has been my favorite session of Blades in the Dark ever so far.
Wow. What made it your
really
favorite?
Fun. There was just a lot of fun moments that felt very narratively iconic, like everything, like the setup and how it was like, okay, now's the time to move. Felt very like we're good for it. You're like, well, Barrel went down, time to just kill these people, and we were just entirely on the same wavelength. That felt so aesthetic for Blades in the Dark. Like, well, complications happened. Sorry.
Well, shit, here I go murdering again.
It was a large, daring score that was directly narratively linked to my character's backstory. That was cool. Like, there's just a lot of aspects that made it very fun for me.
Cool.
As for wishes, I feel like I would appreciate some names to go with this hatred, because I feel like I liked the description, the idea of getting vindictive, actually. And so I feel like I might want some more people to link to these factions, particularly like the Ministry.
When you say names for this hatred, Oh, you want some specific people within the ministry to hate?
Yeah. Sorry, I tried to get all flowery with it.
It's too late in the night for me to be flowery.
Like a specific boot in the ministry and a specific bootlicker in the bill hook.
Yeah, like that could be fun, I feel like.
Okay, duly noted. That's good. All right. Ran, my friend. What you got
Hello,
to wrap up?
It's me, Rand. How's it going, everybody? I'm evidently extremely salty or whatever. I don't know. Hello. I'm tired. Also, shelve the books on Twitter. And as everybody's talking about, not everybody, just one person, new Twitch channels and secrets, I am planning and slowly recruiting for several games that will be happening come 2020. I am also engaging artists at a very slow pace to create things. So I'm excited about that, and also just coming up with it's been a while since I've GM'd, and I'd like to GM, so I'm kind of into that. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Have a good one. Thank you for watching.
Stars and wishes.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think narratively speaking, the idea that like Nat and I both were like, Barrel's not here. I'm just gonna kill him. I mean, to be honest with you, Char was just gonna do that. If it took too long anyway, it was gonna be a very impatient one or the other. Luckily, luckily it was one of those things where, narratively speaking, it made more sense. But if Barrel was like, I'm gonna get some information out of this guy, and he had ended up being in that room for too long, Char was just gonna be like, okay, can we leave now?
To be honest, they were probably dead the moment there was more hazards in the room.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. That was kind of my place. Wishes for the game. Only selfish ones, really, at this point. I enjoy all of these characters playing together, and having more of us be around each other would be good. Like, I don't think Char and Rhodes have played in a game together for a while, so it would be nice to have that. And also, just some herbalism books.
Just some herbalism.
Just look, my vice is very specific, and maybe too overly specific, but I just want.
Hey, you've got a good Google Doc going on with a couple of us talking about it, so I think there's some good stuff happening there. You've got some really good material in there that you come up with, so I'm like.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but that's like haphazardly put together. I don't want to talk about it because it's ugly to me, but
mood.
Yeah,
it was not that haphazard. You've got 3 rollable tables in there.
Wait, what? Yeah. I don't know this thing yet.
Yeah.
Rand, did you go full DM on this?
I mean, look,
he did. They did in the best way.
Yeah.
They did in the
so
best
anyway,
way.
thank you.
That's valid.
As a fellow spreadsheet hoe, I respect it.
I mean, I also want to complain about how limited in Google Docs the table generation is, but that's fine.
That's fair.
Cool. All right. So for me, I don't have a lot going on right now, mostly because A, we're not going to be here next week, and B, I don't have any other games, streamed or not, to plug right now. But I got some stuff I had some stuff I was going to pitch at Variant Rolls and run into some issues tonight, so I'm reworking how I want to do that. That's not on the fault of Variant Rolls. That's a whole nother. It's just I ran into some issues with it. Anyway, point being, much like what Rand said, looking forward to doing some new stuff in the new year, when the schedules are settled down post holidays, and probably some one shots here and there on Variant Rolls in between. I was hoping, and Rand had graciously volunteered, but didn't quite get enough people. I want to run a one shot of Trophy, just regular old Trophy Dark, but would like 3 people to play that with me. So at a minimum, I expect to play it at least. I'm hoping. Expecting is not the right word. I'm hoping to play it at least once at PAX Unplugged with friends.
I will say that
Oh,
anytime
never
one of my friends goes on and on about a system long enough, I start to want to try it.
So it's very much to me. It's very. I'm weird about certain games need to be played at certain times of day. And like Blades in the Dark is a nighttime game. It's even in the name. And other games work really well during the day, like a Saturday morning cartoon flavored kind of game. Trophy is very much we play at midnight. Not actually midnight, but I mean at night. But yeah.
I will
It's
say
foggy enough. You could do it in the.
Man, I live in
Yes.
Texas.
Man, I
We
live
get
in
fog.
the Pacific Northwest.
It's always foggy.
It's always gray
And it's almost
here.
never foggy here. Except in my
I
head.
lost visibility at about 50 feet today here.
Nice.
It was spoopy doop.
So nothing really to plug there right now. Stars and wishes. So first of all, I will say that this is probably unfair, I almost want to give a star to how do we get through this door.
For real.
But honestly, that was probably
It
on
looked
me
complex.
not being very clear on put your hand in. Oh, look, when we put my hand, I feel like, when you turn, it's got a little ridge in the middle of it as a diameter. You just kind of chunk. But anyways,
It's one of those hard things where you want to describe stuff so that it like conveys what you want, but you get that D&D thing where it's like, oh, this thing is being described. That means it's important and gonna.
and then
fuck us.
also, and I was already having a moment earlier coming down the elevator shaft where I couldn't think of the word. I can see exactly what it is. When there's like the iron
Yep.
girders. God.
He can finally sleep, everybody.
Sweet
isn't
release.
Yes.
The
So,
blood pact has been fulfilled.
it? Girders.
anyway, so the other star that I would say is I mean, Chase, you leaned into getting the trauma and just being like, all right, I'm going to just do this thing. I'm just going to push the thing and push because that's what's going to make it
Let's
interesting.
just go.
Yeah, so that was good. Wish for the game to evolve. I don't know. I enjoyed the pacing tonight. Except for because I was joking. Except for the time we really bogged down on the door, but that was as much me. It was probably more me than anybody. So
it's funny. It's funny to look back on.
it's funny when it's happened once in a while. If it happened all the time, I'd be frustrated. And
I just want to say that I honestly thought that you said there was a recess that was like a shape, and I was like, oh, somebody has something
a
that
circular
goes.
my
Little did
puzzle.
we know.
My puzzle mind immediately went, oh, we got to find something to fit in
Right.
the hole.
I was like, we gotta
Little
go
did we know
back
the
up.
thing that goes in the hole is
It's
the
this.
hand.
Yeah.
also, I think we've reached the point where now we're kind of and my wish is for us to keep doing this. We have several different story threads and factions, and at first we were kind of just figuring out which factions we collectively all had interest in. And we've kind of settled on there are always going to be side players, but we have some core story arcs going now.
Oh wait, one thing. I have one more wish that I just remembered, which is that I want to stomp the shit out of the billhooks. That's a wish that I have for the game. That we
fair.
stomp the crap out of them. That's
Hey,
all.
we spent an entire session on me. I'm behind you.
So, but that was what I was. So you've got this thing with the Ministry of Preservation, all the bad shit they're up to, and I pulled together a few different things. That Navy worship was a thing. This story got to where it was because you had every time you had choices to make of which kind of story thread to pull. Kind of that you're stuck between different fronts and dungeon worlds or whatever. So I'm enjoying that now. That's kind of consolidated into sort of the campaign front as it were, in again, in Dungeon World terms. Here, it's clocks. It makes it super easy for you to do prep because I just go look at the clocks. I don't do hardly any prep for this. I actually did not necessarily think that y'all were going to do this heist tonight. I know y'all said that I set you up for this.
I think, well, it's one of those things where the difference between what the GM sees it as and what the players decode
they're
the
telling me
message
to
as.
do this, but the reality is I was just like, oh, these clocks filled up. I want to make that in universe.
And that was an interesting way to deliver that information as well. To be
Very
honest, like
much.
that, in that sense, you also succeeded. But
Right.
from this
It
perspective, it's
felt
also very much
very
like,
organic.
yeah, it was also like, hey, you can do this now.
I feel like Char has now decided that this gang is going to become wants the gang to tier up until they're as strong as the Ministry and then topple the Ministry over. Like, I feel like
That's
I was
the season
reading
3 plot line.
on Blades in the
Right.
Dark that there are a lot of crews that end up either inciting political revolution or just getting one of their members of the crew on the city council. Apparently, that's a
That's
whole
fun.
trope.
I
So,
believe it.
I mean, that would
So,
be
like,
what we
if
would do
Blades
with
in the Dark
Barrow.
had achievement unlocked options. It wanted you to get
Right.
someone in your crew on the city council.
Yeah.
and
The
yeah.
achievement's called I Know Again.
So, thanks everybody for hanging out. This has been a blast. I'm glad that Jesse was at least with us in chat, and I'm glad that she and Cole had a good evening. Thanks to Zach for hanging out in chat as well. I mean, the whole reason that I do these on stream is literally for that, just to hang out with other people. I don't care about a whole lot of other things with the stream. It's just, hey, let's all hang out. I'm not quite cheap enough to just stream the Zoom window or the Roll20 window, but I've thought about it just to make my life easier. Cool.
Cheap? Is that a cheap thing?
Maybe I'll put some. Maybe not cheap. Lazy. That's the better
Okay,
word.
all right,
Lazy.
all right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to call out laziness, but I feel like it's not necessarily cheap, but lazy.
I mean, I have spent a little bit here and there on some stuff but
Right.
not a whole lot. Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.